Yes. Yes. There's actual life. It's actual football that looked like football. Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York, on the ESPN New York app, and on YouTube today, which may be where you can make your largest contribution on the show because we're having a little phone issue. Hopefully we get that ironed out. But your comments from YouTube will be up on the ESPN New York YouTube page. Dan Grassa is in today for Bart. Dan, that's what football actually can look like. I didn't know.
I thought we were going to start with the Rangers tonight or today. No? Good Ranger win last night? No?
Did they play?
No, they played. Yeah, they scored a goal.
Dan, I took a call on the Knicks on October 4th, and I almost freaking quit. Come on.
Oh.
Give me something. I was at 1-9, and I'm not even a Giant fan. I need content. And
How about this?
The Yankees are dead.
How about this? Okay? Remember, you don't even have to go back that far. We were all there in the trenches in the dog days of summer, waiting for the pennant race to kind of come to its head and what the Yankees and Mets were going to do. But we still sprinkled in enough football. And remember the overwhelming conversation with the Giants, Chris? It was, where are the wins coming from? Right? Where are the wins? And we always wondered, well, when is Jaxson Dart, when is the right time to hand him the reins from Russell Wilson? Where are the wins coming from? Lo and behold, Chargers, Eagles. If I would have told you the Giants were winning 2 of their first 6 games, you probably wouldn't have pinpointed those 2 as ones that they would get.
Then the Saints is a loss.
Right. 5 turnovers. You can't make it
honestly, it was just so nice, Dan. It was just so nice to see.
It was
functional. Like it kind of took me back to Don in week 1 when he was screaming about how the Jets looked functional and about how the Giants, you have a football team. How, I was almost screaming that to myself in the middle of the game, just thinking, oh my God, this is what it actually looks like when you're not in there for 15 penalties a game and 5 false starts and a quarterback that can make plays off schedule and running the football. Who knew? Who knew? I don't know. Cam Skattebo may not be able to he may not be able to walk by the end of the year, but at least right now you're enjoying every bit of whatever you can suck out of that energy in his body because otherwise, wow.
Or if he keeps headbutting brick walls like he did in college. I don't know if he's doing that on the way to and from the locker room. Might not be able to remember his own name by the end of the year, but it's infectious. And look, I don't want to make assumptions. And I know that you're a pretty good judge of character, and you're pretty good at kind of like reading between the lines. So I'll toss this one up to you. Do you think, and remember, don't want to go too far out on a limb here, do you think that Brian Daboll likes his quarterback any?
Oh, my God. Like, that's the only thing. Dan, I think you know me well enough to know that I am somebody that I can get on board with the good things. Right? Sometimes it just gets to be a bit much.
Much?
Right now, it's just getting to be a bit much.
It's, wow.
We're sprinting into the tent. We're screaming at doctors. Oh, my God. Like, it couldn't look like worse than it could in a movie if he's like Henry Winkler trying to get Bobby Boucher back into the game. That's what it looked like.
My first question to Daboll, after seeing that, and I would have sat down there and said, did you guys pick a florist yet? It's you said a little much. It's and look, God bless him. There's an aura of positivity around this football team now, and the kid gets it. He's only been here for 5 minutes, but he even said after the game last night, and I think as a fan you have to love that he knows what the fan base has been through, he knows what the recent history has been through, and whether it's Dart, Skattebo, a combination of both. We'll get to the defense as well because they deserve a lot of credit for how they played last night. But, finally, if you're a Giant fan, you enjoy this weekend. It's like a mini bye for you. Ride the wave. You have something you can be proud of.
Why don't you go jump in a car and go up to a B&B in New England and come back Sunday morning with the Jet game, on the radio listening to Dan on the pregame.
That's
and
right.
You have a nice little trip and check out the fall foliage. You don't have jack to sweat this weekend.
Nothing.
How good is that?
Nothing. You put your feet up. You enjoy the less than blockbuster slate of games we have this weekend. And by the way, it's not a very good slate of games at all. I don't know if you noticed that. It's not very
I did
good.
not notice that yet.
Yeah.
Last week was not exactly, earth-shattering.
No. But I was looking at that. I was like, okay, well, we have the London game this week, so, I'll probably be done and home in time for, the 4 o'clock window. But, the games as a whole Sunday are just not very good. Lions-Chiefs is interesting, but, not a great slate, but neither here nor there. If maybe it's emblematic of the NFL nowadays, but in what universe can you rationalize that last week Giants go down to New Orleans, who pound for pound still might be the worst team in the league? You not only lose to them, you turn the ball over on 5 consecutive possessions, which is almost impossible to do, and then you're going to come back on a short week, mind you, and knock off a team that has basically laughed in your face for a decade. Is that just what the NFL is in 2025?
In some ways, yes. Because, first of all, it just shows, again, how gambling companies make their money.
That's it.
There's nobody in their right mind. How much money did FanDuel and did DraftKings all make last night, and ESPN Bet all make last night with people who were betting hard on the Eagles to get right and to lay the 7.5?
Was it a popular Survivor pick last night? You would have to think, for those that are still alive.
I would think it probably was.
Right?
When you're favored by that much, I would think it probably was.
You're favored by that much. You look at who wasn't playing for the Giants, at least. Giants were without their top 2 wide receivers last night.
Yep.
Like I said, going up against the team that is coming off of a loss, you think would be angry. They've owned you for how many years? It's not like it's a huge trip up the turnpike, and you would have thought this was going to be an easy, routine Philadelphia win. And I said to you before the show, last night, Giants get off to a great start. Philly comes back in the second quarter. When Philly retook the lead in the second quarter, Chris, I said, all right, that's game. Philly's now going to seize control of this game, and they're going to run and hide in the second half. Philly didn't score a point in the second half. Not a point.
How refreshing is that? A defense that there are a few things here, Dan. Number one, let's just start there. If you had hope that the Giants were going to win some games this year, it was based on the defense being very, very good, especially up front, and especially being able to get pressure on the quarterback. And they did that last night.
Yep.
It is amazing how that can completely cover any of the other deficiencies you may have when things are right with that. And the guy that I think just deserves so much credit is Brian Burns.
He's playing like an all-pro.
He really has all season long. He really has, and it's probably gotten a little overlooked just because that's not the primary story of this team. But he's been fantastic. But I just love the idea that you actually went out there and saw a team that is a good team. There's no getting around that. We'll get to them. There's a lot to discuss there. Yeah. They have their problems. But it was a team that was floundering in a bad situation, and you actually took advantage of it, as opposed to being the get-right spot.
Yeah, and that's what good teams are supposed to do in the NFL. And you hit it on Burns, and Burns is one of these cases because, again, I'm going to go back to the summertime. How many times do you hear about certain players in training camp? Oh, they're having a great camp. Oh,
yeah. Oh my God, best shape of their life.
They are.
Oh.
I mean, let me tell you something.
Look out, Jack. This is the year, baby.
Oh, Brian Burns had a great camp. Brian Burns also, like I said, he's playing like an all-pro this year, and that looks like, a bargain that the Giants got him for last year and the contract that they gave him, but he's living up to it. By the way, not to digress, but Brandon Stevens was one of those guys over on the Jets side who had a great camp. Camp, and he's not having a great season, but nevertheless. No, Burns has been fantastic. And give this Giant defense credit, too. They forced those 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter. We talked about Cordell Flott yesterday when we had Jason McCourty on. Cordell Flott, big pick in that game last night. Again, I don't know what more these coaches have to see. He's the guy that should be playing all the time.
Yeah. Well, if he's not, then it's just coaching malpractice at this point.
Or Deontay Banks has pictures, one or the other.
Oh, my God. He stinks. With the flop play, again, that's a situation in the game where you have a team that is coming in, they're trying to come back, and they have this pedigree of winning of whatever it was, 20 of 22 coming in, and you expect them to go and take the lead. You expect them to go and make the plays that they need to make. And what happens? You actually, in turn, make not just a play, but that's a game-turning play in every way. That took away any chance that the Eagles had to come back and win that game. Any chance. And when was the last time you saw that from the Giants?
Right, like the defense icing a game?
I mean,
the Super Bowl year?
God, it feels like it.
Right?
It feels like it. I don't know, man. Like, I almost feel like Memento, where I should have written it on my arm the last time that happened to remember. Because every day I wake up and everything is a distant memory and I have no recollection of what happened.
1 for 9 on third down, you held them to. Not being able to sustain drives obviously is crucial in that situation. And, you said it, I think we expected this defense to be the strength of the football team, at least in the early going. Like, you looked at those dudes that they had in the front seven, and I said all summer, I was excited to watch this Giants defense. I couldn't wait to see these guys get after opposing quarterbacks, and they were a little slow out of the gate. You had that debacle in week 2 against Dallas where it was basically like a video game. Neither defense could get off the field, but now they're starting to round into form a little bit, and it's nice to see. And, oh, by the way, now you have an offense that's playing complementary football to where when you put the ball in the offense's hands, if you're a defensive player, you know what? You can actually take your helmet off on the sidelines and think that you might be there a while instead of, hey, we're going to be right back out on the field because it's going to be another 3 and out.
800-919-3776. I give you the number now because we believe that the phones are back up and working, and we're going to give the Giant fans an early and often opportunity to get in on what felt like a functional football team that actually gave you some hope. Now, Dan, I'm not going to get nuts here, but it actually gave you some hope that at least you'll have something to watch here in the coming weeks, and that's because of the quarterback. Let's get to Jaxson Dart. I think just what's most refreshing about it, the energy that he clearly brings to everybody else. You knew at the beginning of the year when Russ was the starter that you were only going to be able to do so much. Nobody knew what Jaxson Dart was going to be. That the offense at Ole Miss was not one that was necessarily a pro-ready type of offense.
No.
But he had played a ton of football there. A ton of football. So you have to give it an opportunity. And what I really want to credit Brian Dable on and the offensive staff and Kafka, and it doesn't happen enough. What can we do to accentuate what you do well? They're taking plays out of the Ole Miss playbook and they're running some of that stuff. And by the way, it's stuff that other teams haven't really prepared for. And that's how it helps to be more effective, even if it's just like, Dan, in one moment he turned around, there was like a fake handoff one way and it came back the other way to Skattebo. And I'm like, I've never seen the Giants do anything like that before. And it just, the comfortability that you give that young player to build his confidence is just so important. And I still feel like we don't see that enough across the NFL when you're trying to make it work with these young quarterbacks.
Imagination, right? That's a word that, is incorporated here a little bit, and it's nice to see. Like you said, what do you do well? That's what we're going to try to accentuate, right? They have lifted a little bit conceptually from some of the stuff he was running there in Ole Miss. And that wasn't like that. You said it. I mean, you watch a ton of college football. I mean, what Lane Kiffin and company are running down there in Oxford is not anything close to a pro-style offense. But
no,
you know what? It basically might as well be Chinese to English if you want to rewind 30 years ago from what we're seeing in the NFL, right? Because a lot of quarterbacks, like, let's face it, decades ago in the NFL, a quarterback like Jaxson Dart, coming from that type of an offense in college, he would have no shot to be an NFL starting quarterback.
Agreed.
None. Right?
And I think that's why he went where he did. A lot of people still have skepticism over that kind of thing. And, yeah, it was late first round, but a lot of people were thinking second round.
Right, because but the NFL, as you know, has kind of started to transition a little bit over the years to now incorporating a lot of the college-type things. You know, the spreads and this and that, and which now it's a different game. It's a different universe from 3 decades ago. But it's working, right? And that's the most important thing. And, you know, I said it on the show yesterday, and I don't want to pat myself on the back because, God, I don't want this to happen. But the guy still makes me nervous. And he stayed down for a long time again last night to where you thought, uh-oh, this is not good. I mean, Chris, he's been in the blue 10 already 3 times this year. We're not even in the middle of October yet, right? So that part still concerns you because all it's going to take is one freaking hit, and it might not even look like it's a vicious hit. Like the one he took last night where he stayed down, live speed, it didn't look like it was a problem. It looked like a couple of guys just wrapped him up and he was going down. And, you know...
And by the way, if you remember, like right before they took him off, like he was like stretching out his leg. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, no big deal.
And this is a head thing. And you're like, how did that happen? And then they flash over and they see Russell Wilson warming up on the sidelines. And if you're a Giant fan or even just a football fan that has to watch this team, all of a sudden you're like warped right back to what we had to watch the first 3 weeks of the season. And you're like, I don't want to go back to this again. Not again.
No. I wanted to go and look and see if they were rerunning Bart's episode of Celebrity Family Feud again from a few weeks ago so that I didn't have to watch Russell Wilson.
Do you think he gets royalties if they rerun the episode or no?
I don't know. I know they reran it during the whole Kimmel debacle.
We got to ask him if he gets a little cha-ching on that.
Trust me, he knows. he knows exactly how much. If he does,
he knows. Damn right about that.
But no, I think Steve Harvey's walking away with all that money.
Yeah, Steve's doing okay for himself, I think, as we know. But look, I mean, finishing drives. You know, they were perfect in the red zone yesterday. And look, I know that Philadelphia was missing Jalen Carter. That's a big void in that defense.
Of course.
Quinyon Mitchell, their top corner, who's one of the best young corners in the NFL, he had to leave that game last night. So you take him out of the game, Philadelphia's corners are basically like a who's who out there, or not exactly a who's who out there. You know what I mean? So the Giants had their way then to exploit that a little bit in the passing game. Credit to them. You know, take nothing away from them. They deserve to win the game. Philly's got a lot of issues they got to work out, which we'll get into here. But, look, if I would have told a Giant fan that you'd be 2-4 after 6 games, in a weird way, they probably would have signed up for it given what the expectations were.
Oh, no. I completely agree with that. There's no doubt that you would have signed up for that. And the fact that they're here, I'm just so encouraged by it, frankly. I don't expect much the rest of the year. I still know that we're very capable of seeing what we saw last week against the Saints. And frankly, I expect there to be a couple of more Dart games that look like that. I fully expect that. But just, Dan, it's been a tough time in New York sports.
Of course. Of course. I mean, exactly.
We went into yesterday 1-9. When the Yankees and Mets are out. This whole thing... I think it was Mike Vaccaro wrote today, it's been 5,000 days since the last New York championship in the 4 major sports. 5,000 days. Just functional was nice. And it was the Eagles.
Forget about functional. Do you want to go back to, off the top of your head, when was the last time? And remember, they play this team twice a year. When was the last time the Giants put up 34 on the Eagles?
Do you have the answer?
Yes.
Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I want to say I'm not sure, but I want to say at the very least Eli was the quarterback.
Most points they've scored against the Eagles since 2012.
Wow. And was that a game that they lost
years.
like 30? Was that a game that they lost like 38-35, something like that?
Let's find it.
Might have been something like that. I don't know that I remember that exactly, but it sounds somewhat familiar. But again, 2012, years where they were actually functional and knew what they were doing. Amazing.
They
Just
put up
amazing.
42. It was 42-7 in the final game of the season.
Ah, okay. All right. Listen, 13 years is a long time. It's a long time. But let's give this an opportunity to percolate. Let's give the Giant fans an opportunity to get through at 800-919-3776. Also on the YouTube chat, there's already many, many comments coming in, a couple of which are pertaining to your hair, which we will get into as well. I don't know what the controversy is there this morning, but we'll certainly find out. Anthony is in Yonkers, and he will start us off today on ESPN New York. Tony, what's up, baby?
Guys, I was at the game last night. Listen, I don't like Jaxson Dart. I love Jaxson Dart, okay? I like my quarterbacks cocky. I like my quarterbacks confident. I don't like my quarterbacks in that blue tent. He needs to figure out a way. Listen, I get it. He's a new kid.
And the phones just went down again.
I think his phone is now in the blue tent.
I don't know if you looked at the screen. I just looked at the screen, and the whole thing just went blank. Yeah, listen. And the whole Dable and Skattebo and everybody's running into the tent to make sure he's okay. Like, oh, my God. Please, can we please, Brian, can we just dial it back a hair? Just a little bit.
It's a little much.
It's not a little much. It's a lot much. It's just, we get it, dude. We understand he's your meal ticket at this point. He's your only opportunity. And frankly, I'm not even sure that should be the case, and we'll get more into that. But it's also, it's just, I don't even know if that feels great if you're a teammate looking at that. Like coaches running into the tent. Like, it's one thing when coaches now go out on the field to check and see if a player's okay, and I appreciate that. It's another thing where we're sprinting into the tent. Get him back in there, and you're screaming at a doctor on the sideline. Like, you look like a jackass.
Yeah, it's a little much. You're right. And, look, the reality is that this all could go south in a hurry.
Yes.
Right? It could go south. Because it's not like just because the Giants won a couple of games here that the schedule all of a sudden gets easier. Like, you're seeing this Philly team again in 2 weeks. You don't think that they're going to be out for blood when you go into their place? You're going to Denver next week. That's not an easy trip. I know Elway's not playing, but still, that might be, let's face it. Yeah, that will be the best defense that Jaxson Dart faces when they go to Denver next week, given the fact that Philly was so banged up like they were last night.
Listen, I think that's fair. I think that's completely fair. And you can't evaluate him if he's hurt all the time. Because, you know what, I'm going to throw out 2 letters and a number, and it's not going to want to be what people want to hear. RG3. We do not need to turn this into RG3 because that ended pretty quickly.
RG3, the football player or the broadcaster, RG3?
Well, either one, really. But the football player, the football player was, listen, he was fantastic that first year, but because he was taking all the hits, it was gone quickly. And that's not what he can afford to be, and that's not what the Giants can afford for him to be. And you know who can actually be the most helpful in regards to this? If he wants to help, I don't know if he does, is Russell Wilson. Because Russell Wilson learned early in his career about taking hits and then learned how to not take hits while still being very effective in making plays off schedule and on the move.
This might sound inappropriate, but I'm just going to tell it like it is. Don't snicker at it. But Russell Wilson's not like a big guy, right? He came into the league as an undersized quarterback. But Russell Wilson is thick. You know what I'm saying? He's built a lot sturdier than Jaxson Dart is. Now, granted,
would you say he's thick? Is he thick with 2 C's?
Wow. I didn't actually give it that much thought. I mean, if you want to go 2 C's, you could go 2 C's. I'm okay with that. I'm good with that.
I don't know. That's kind of how I judge it.
No, but you know what I'm saying? So, and look, nobody that played the quarterback position was any bigger, stronger, sturdier than Cam Newton was. And ultimately, Chris, after a decade of taking the hits that he took, he ultimately gave out. And all of a sudden, he had neck injuries and then couldn't play the position. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it takes a toll on everybody. I just don't want to see this kid's immediate future curtailed in any way because he's sitting there taking a beating. And, oh, by the way, the danger of it is, because I brought this up yesterday, not having Malik Neighbors, you don't have a go-to target in the passing game, which might make Brian Daboll and even Dart in turn more compelled to try to take off and make plays with your legs.
So, here we are. Just getting started off of a giant win, off of a Jaxson Dart night. Cam Skattebo lighting it up. You've got all the positivity in the world, and yet you don't know what to do with it. You don't know what to do with it. You're like a kid who got what he wanted on Christmas morning and is so excited, you have no idea how to first start playing with the toy. So let's go. 800-919-3776. If the phones are working, we will talk to you. You can also, though, as a fail-safe, if you will.
I like the disclaimer. If the phones are
If.
working, we'll talk to you.
Yeah.
If they're not, we won't talk to you.
But we'll listen to you by dropping comments into the YouTube chat. The first one I referenced a moment ago, this is from Black Metronome.
Mm-hmm.
Black Metronome.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get Dan into a barber chair out here in Jersey. Mm-hmm. The Dominican brothers would have Grassa looking sharp. I have to tell you, I have always admired your hair. I think it's always sharp and on point, and you're not a guy that lets it go very long.
Here's the thing. I don't know what Black Metronome looks like, doesn't look like, how much hair he has or he doesn't have. There's one thing I will never do, my friend. I'm not going to sit here at this stage of my life and apologize for having a nice head of hair.
Oh,
and the fact of the matter is, and you could see this on the YouTube, everybody that's looking, all right, there's no secrets, there's no curtain. I'm sitting in my home.
This fall,
What happened? Are we getting played off? What is this, the Oscars? What did I just win for, like, best adapted animated movie, and you don't know who I am, and I'm giving a speech that's going on too long? Fine. I'm not going to say anything. Fine.
Thank your mother and get out of here.
Goodbye. Thank you for the award. Goodbye. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
You're going to need to tap dance
Tom.
for 30 seconds while I fix the system.
Thanks, Tom.
That was not
We're
me
done,
for the
Tom.
record.
You got the award for best hair. That's what you got.
That's what I got.
That's what
So
happened.
I'm not apologizing for it. Like I said, we're sitting at home late night last night with the games. I was doing the Ranger game. Sorry I told the hair and makeup team that they had the day off. But you know what the beauty of having the hair is, Chris? If I could do basically anything I want with it.
Yeah,
so
you can.
know what? That's great.
And with this, you can say pound sand. That's what you can say.
Look, see? There it is. Can do whatever I want with
beautiful.
it. Day, night,
Yep.
We're doing radio. I'm sitting in my house. Bottom
It's
line.
thick.
Love
thick.
it. I just got a cut last Friday. Got the nice little fade on the side.
I'll tell you what your hair is. Thick with 2 C's. That's
Ooh,
right.
There you go.
It's Dan Grassa in for Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York and on the ESPN New York app. It looks good.
This fall, don't sit on the sideline because of pain. If you're tired of waking up stiff, fighting neck, back, or joint pain, and missing out on the things you love, it's time to take action. Call Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain, New Jersey's top pain specialist. Dr. Shaw is the Ivy League trained, double board certified, and laser focused on one thing: getting you back in the game. Living pain-free, no surgery, no cuts, no downtime. Just precise image-guided treatments that deliver real results. Whether it's sciatica, nerve pain, migraine, or chronic joint pain, Dr. Shaw will personalize a non-surgical game plan just for you without pain medication. Same day and next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. Most major insurances are accepted, so what are you waiting for? Don't let pain keep you out of the action this season. Visit Sandwell Pain to text, call, or book online. You'll wish you met Dr. Jay Shaw a lot sooner. Relief starts today, and victory over pain is closer than you think.
Did you know women account for 2/3 of all Americans living with Alzheimer's and 2/3 of all Alzheimer's family caregivers? Join the Alzheimer's Foundation of America at its Women Empowerment Forum on November 5th in Amityville to learn practical ways women can reduce their risk for Alzheimer's and enhance quality of life for themselves and their loved ones living with Alzheimer's. For more information or to register, visit alzfdn.org or call 866-232-8484.
On Staten Island, very slow traffic now. Westbound Staten Island Expressway into 440. That's construction work. At least one lane is closed over toward the Goethals Bridge. Outer Bridge Crossing, that's got delays. Southbound 440 on the Staten Island side. That's construction work. At least one lane is out. In Queens, the LIE westbound west of the Grand Central on the interchange. It's a crash over by Queens Boulevard. Belt Parkway east and westbound by Flatbush Avenue. It's an eastbound accident. And the inbound Gowanus BQE combo slow from the Prospect up toward the Brooklyn Bridge. Lincoln and Holland tunnels and George Washington Bridge down to about a 10 to 15 minute delay, and very slow up and down the FDR Drive, especially southbound from the 90s on down toward the 60s. I'm Bob Williams on 880 ESPN New York.
Score a win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Getting the right mattress helps you sleep at night. Getting the right price helps you sleep even better. At PC Richard & Son, they don't just sell you a mattress. Their experts use a 4-step fitting process to make sure your new bed fits you perfectly. The right fit, the right price, plus free delivery. It's what they do, only at PC Richard & Son. Free delivery on mattresses $199 and up. Excludes Manhattan. See stores for details.
We are moving now.
Electric bikes are everywhere. They are quiet and very fast. Teens ride them on the roads, in bike lanes, but also in places they should not be, like sidewalks and parks.
Look out!
When you ride, wear a helmet. Don't speed. Watch out for pedestrians and cars. New York State and your community have specific rules for electric bikes. Follow them. Go to trafficsafety.ny.gov for more info. A message brought to you by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Ballybet Sportsbook. Yo, Ballybet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Ballybet. Check out that brand new Parlay Zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Ballybet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today. Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Ballybet Sportsbook and Casino.
Download it.
Just printed from the Erie Canal Press, the most coveted ticket, New York Lottery's $1 million raffle, hath arrived. 15 fortunate souls shall come into the fortune of a millionaire.
Translation, the $1 million raffle is here, and 15 winners are going to become millionaires. The New York Lottery commemorates 200 years of the Erie Canal with your best odds of winning $1 million. Limited tickets available. Ask your local retailer today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
I can't believe we blew a 5-touchdown lead.
Sure, but you got to feel like they were going to win for almost the entire game.
But I was about to buy playoff tickets.
So you were prepared for a good time. That's pretty nice.
It's the worst loss any team has ever had.
And you got to witness history.
Okay, we're done here.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
You know, Dan, I try not to live the stereotype too much. I joke about it, but I don't want to live the stereotype. And yet, sometimes things just happen, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York, on the ESPN New York app. And what I'm talking about is that naturally during the break,
yeah,
I had run downstairs before here at this hotel in Seattle. Mm-hmm. And I had gone to get some breakfast, and I didn't get a chance. The breakfast didn't open until 6:30 local time, which it's not, that's an hour ago now, right? So we were going on the air a half hour ago.
Sure.
So I got the breakfast, didn't really have a chance to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
During the break, let me shovel this in while I can, and I look up, and the YouTube feed's still on. So the YouTube crowd getting an opportunity to watch me eat breakfast is just fantastic. Spencer Williams, little bagel with butter action, Carlin. Yeah, let me tell you, it was a toasted one. And Dan, by the way, just as an aside, how do these hotels consistently get away with putting stale bagels out there? Bagels that might have been from last week, but you throw them in the toaster, it'll be fine.
That's why I'm not a toasted bagel guy. It's got to be a fresh bagel. I'm never a day after bagel. I think we live in a prosperous country. I think that, and we all have the means to maybe just go out and spend $1 on a bagel. You know what I mean? Like I want fresh baked goods. Here's the issue I have with the hotel. If you're going to start breakfast service at 6:30, doesn't it seem weird that you're doing it at the bottom of the hour? Why not start it at if you're going to go 6:30, you might as well go the extra mile and start it at 6.
Yeah. Or if you're going to go 6:30, why bother just start it at 7? Yeah, and 7 obviously would not have been ideal for me.
No.
No, they went 6:30, so I'm down there trying to get, something going, grab a bagel, believe it or not, some egg whites, and let's try to make something happen, maybe a piece of bacon or 2 or 7. And listen, here's where we are. But then I just look up and all the comments in the YouTube, all the comments. Look at Carlin. Look at Carlin living up to what he is supposed to be.
Let's clear something up here because nobody told me. So I didn't see you eating breakfast. So you mean to tell me people can actually, if I didn't see it, how do the people on YouTube see it?
Because I have the YouTube live feed up on one computer next to me.
Right.
And so I can take out the comments and bring them in. And I looked up during the commercial, and normally there's a thing that says, "We'll be right back."
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah. No, early in that commercial, it was Chunky shoving a bagel.
Oh, see, I stepped away. That's why, not to shovel a bagel, but now I'm impressed because, like you said, the commercial break is maybe 4.5 minutes, something like that. What floor are you on? How far did you have to go down to get the breakfast?
Well, I got it right before the show.
Oh, okay, so it was
not only that, a little bit cold.
Oh,
I'm on the 11th floor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in Bellevue, Washington. I don't know if you've ever been out here.
No connection to Bellevue Hospital in New York.
No. But I'll say this comfortably. Yeah. Seattle, for the reputation of the type of folks that you would think live here, I don't like speaking in generalities. Boy, those are spot on.
Interesting. Well, I just put 2 and 2 together, actually, and it's a bad job by me. You've been there for close to 48 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me the pulse, the sports fan enthusiasm in the Seattle metro area tonight. Mariners-Tigers, Game 5 at T-Mobile Park. Mm-hmm. Rutgers, Washington. Give me, the percentage of where the eyeballs and the allegiances are going to be here, you think, coming up tonight?
Well, obviously the Mariners are number one right now. And the tickets for that game, I was able to get somebody some tickets for the game. If you look on secondary markets, they're $500 and $600.
Wow, good.
Not just to get in, but for okay seats.
But that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they're into the Mariners. Cal Raleigh is definitely a thing here. We know they're into the Seahawks, but they're into UW too. I will be curious to see what the crowd looks like tonight because that game is at 5 local time, the game at T-Mobile Park, and then the Rutgers-Washington game is at 6. And I don't know if you've ever been here. The stadium is right on Lake Washington, so people tailgate on the boats.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
I was watching because, I nerd out when it comes to the Big Ten stuff, and I know we're going off on a tangent, but yesterday was media day for the basketball. So when I got home yesterday, I turned it on in the afternoon. I was watching all that stuff, with a lot of the coaches and stuff from the basketball conference. But again, it's just like the common theme about all of these new schools in the Big Ten, and like Washington, UCLA, the teams that are new to the conference that are located on the West Coast. I'm sick and tired of hearing these coaches complain about the travel. Like, dude, you knew what you were getting into. You took the money. This is part of it.
And now the revenue share you have to spend on players as well.
Yep.
So this is the deal. Like, complaining about the travel anymore, like, what's the point? We get it. It's not ideal. Blame your athletic directors who blindly voted it. And by the way, the big-time sports like football and like basketball should not be complaining. The sports that should be complaining are the Olympic sports, the other sports, that they have no regard for whatsoever.
I remember and it's in other conferences too. Remember Cal. Cal is in the ACC. So they're traveling across country and play. And I remember talking about that last year when Aaron Rodgers was here because he's a Cal guy, and we were talking about that. And he was like, "Yeah, like the people in Cal, like their travel budget is being completely drained. It seems like every other week when they got to go on a road trip for football. It's insane."
Yeah, you do not see as many people making these trips as you used to. But at the very least, it's interesting and it's new. So there's that. 800-919-3776. Ray, at this point, is there a point of me giving out the phone number because we are unsure of our situation?
I would say just to remind people, not that they'll actually get on air through it right now.
Oh, okay. It's we have a phone number
right
to remind you. Not sure that it's even going to be functional at this point, but in theory, it exists. And we may be able to use it.
It's not a delinquency situation when it comes to paying the phone bill, right? Like that's not what's causing this.
Is that even a thing anymore? Like,
I don't know.
Did you ever have your phone shut off in college? Like, I came close once or twice. I might have.
They show up at the station and shut off the phones. Oh, my
gosh. So here's the deal.
Yeah.
We are going to take comments off of the YouTube page on the Giants right now at 800-919. Why am I giving the number?
Yeah, you don't need a code to make a comment on YouTube.
You know what it is, Dan? It's a crutch. It's a crutch. And as a broadcaster, we all have crutches. And that number's a crutch for me to just, when I have nothing to say, just spit out the number, Baldy. That's it.
All right, here's what we'll do. We'll make the comments, and people could react to that. So I will throw out a question to you, and I want your answer. You know it's coming. All right, I don't know how much has been circulating around earlier today because I haven't really been kind of keeping up with the Joneses. But you know eventually that the conversation is going to shift towards, boy, if only Jaxson Dart had started the season week 1 as the quarterback, where would the Giants be today? I'll ask you that question. Where would the Giants be today?
And I'll have an answer for that question next. How about that? Look at that. Smooth. Tease. Let's go. That is what we're talking about at ESPN New York and on the ESPN New York app. I almost said the number again.
Some random number, that's all.
We'll get to it next.
BetterHelp. BetterHelp therapists have helped over 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. That's millions of stories, millions of journeys, and behind every one is a therapist who showed up, listened, and helped someone take a step forward. Moments in therapy, like the right question, a safe space to cry, or a small win can change lives. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it works. with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our fans get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp.com/timeout.
NFL Sunday is coming. You've got your crew, your couch, your snacks, your slate, and FanDuel is coming in with something extra. This isn't just another NFL Sunday. It's your chance to place that perfect parlay or hit your go-to player prop, and now we're making it even better. Because this week, FanDuel's bringing the bonus. That's right. Now, all customers can get a 50% profit boost on any NFL bet. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back with something extra in your account. Because that's what Sunday should feel like. Visit FanDuel.com/K to download the app and get in on the action before kickoff. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued with non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with the gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Let me tell you about my friends at Bathfitter. They remodeled the bath by my pool. They converted a tub into a shower. The result is amazing. Bathfitter offers all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit. It's done in one day, easy to clean, and durable with no demo or mess, and it costs less than a standard replacement. Plus, a lifetime guarantee. Right now, you get no money down, no payments, or interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bathfitter.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tire care shouldn't come with extra costs or surprise fees. It should be simple, straightforward, and stress-free. So at Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee, included with every tire purchase with paid installation. You'll pay nothing for flat repairs, nada for flat replacements, zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles, and zero for other preventative maintenance. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the limited lifetime tire guarantee, only at Midas.
From the regular season to the Super Bowl, ESPN New York is your destination for football. We've got crazy fans.
If the Giants somehow beat the Cowboys, I'm going to take a dump on your head.
You can feel good because you're a damn football team. Expert analysis.
Marcus Spears joins us now. ESPN NFL analyst Damian Woody.
Mel Kiper Jr.
The Hall of Famer Steve Young.
He's kind of our resident general manager, Louis Riddick.
We got Mike Tannenbaum right now.
And all your fantasy and wagering needs. This is ESPN New York. We are football.
Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York, on the ESPN New York app, and of course on the ESPN New York YouTube page, which we will be taking your comments off throughout the course of the show. We will also attempt to take your phone calls, when hopefully the feed is back up at 800-919-3776. But you should be watching over on YouTube as well. Before the brief respite, Dan posed the question, where would the Giants be if they had just started Jaxson Dart from game one? All right, so I'm not one of those guys. And so for me, I have always subscribed to the thought that I'm going to be okay if you're playing a guy a day late than a day early. But my problem is, honestly, you wouldn't have bored us to death with Russ in the first few games if you had played Jaxson Dart early. Like, you got a little taste during the Dallas game, but that's obviously because the Cowboys defense was so atrocious at the beginning of the year. To me, the one thing that you can never be is bad and boring. If you are bad and boring, and dear God, we've seen enough of that over the last 10 years of football around here, that it's just death. So I feel like it would have been a little bit more entertaining, but I'm not going to sit here and say the Giants would be, 4-2 if this had happened. I can't believe that for a minute. Would they have gone down and won at the Saints if he had had more experience? Like, no. You have these bad moments. So when I start to look back in the rearview mirror about what I should and shouldn't have done, I had to go and do this. I had no problem doing it. And you know what? So it's worked out to be the right time that I went ahead and started playing them.
Yeah, I think that you look at last week's game as the example, right? Like, you went down there and you had 5 straight turnovers against a god-awful Saints team and lost the game. So if you couldn't beat that team, how am I going to sit here and say that you're going to go into Washington and win? Or you would have beat Kansas City on that Sunday night? Or how do I know, right? How do I know on that given day the game plan is going to be the same against that bad Cowboys defense with Jaxson Dart calling the signals versus Russell Wilson, right? Yeah. Remember, what's Russell Wilson's strength? The moon balls, the deep passes. That's not Jaxson Dart right there now at this stage of his career in the NFL. So maybe they're not making that Cowboys defense as vulnerable as they seemed on that afternoon. You just don't know. And like you said, he's coming at this thing completely inexperienced. How beneficial was it having 3 weeks to sit and watch before getting the green light to play? Don't know, right? I mean, I don't even know if he's going to be able to tell you, if he's going to be able to put.
I couldn't agree more, and I think by the end of the year, it's funny, we grade it so much differently now. If you think back when Eli took over and they lost 7 or 8 in a row before they finally won that game against the Cowboys in Week 17. And he actually made the right check at the line of scrimmage and, handed the ball off for them to win the game with Tiki. I wonder how we would view Eli now compared to back then as we did. Now, granted, he was the number 1 overall pick, but you look at those first 4 and 5 games. He didn't complete 50% of his passes in any of those games. He was so bad in some of those games that they really didn't have much of a chance. And so I wonder how different that would have been treated now. So I do think that people look at this and say Dart is the truth. Like, that's what Marcus says over on YouTube. Okay, I think we're all excited by what we see. I would say this. Dart gives you hope because in many instances where there was not hope in a play, hope now exists. And I just think about a couple of his opportunities last night to extend a play and go make a play with something that wasn't there with his legs. The Wan'Dale Robinson play down the sideline.
Right.
Getting out of a sack on another play where he went and ran for a first down. Yeah, that happens now where that may not have that would not have happened with Russ anymore.
Well, there's one game that comes to mind. I just went and looked it up, actually. That you talked about that stretch with Eli when he was a rookie. They went to Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
And they lost the game 37-14. And that was, a top-notch Ravens defense. And Eli went 4 for 18 for 27 yards and 2 interceptions that day. And he didn't even finish the game. Kurt Warner had to actually come back in the game and play mop-up duty because they didn't want Eli to just absolutely be psychologically damaged from playing that game. But I don't have it here because the game was so long ago. But if I seem to remember correctly, his quarterback rating might have been in the single digits.
It was 0.
It was 0?
It was 0.
Like 0.0, like Blutarski.
Yes, that's what it was. That's what it was, I believe. Yeah. Because Bart mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. I believe it was 0.0. I don't know if you can actually have a negative quarterback rating, but if you could, he easily would have that day. That's how bad it was.
And not to say that Jaxson Dart is going to have a game that bad the rest of the way, but, like I said, there's going to be some days where you sit there and say, boy, this is the growing pains right now. And make no mistake about it, in 2 weeks when they go to Philadelphia, all right, And I don't know who's going to be in the lineup, who's going to be out of the lineup for the Eagles that day. But Vic Fangio is a damn good defensive coordinator. The dude's been around the block, okay? He's got Super Bowl rings. He's schemed and shut down offenses and quarterbacks a lot better than this Giants attack is right now. You don't mean to tell me after what happened last night that he's going to come up and have something a little bit more intricate, if you will, that maybe Jaxson Dart didn't see last night or didn't see on film from Philadelphia that they've even run this season to where they're going to try to neutralize him more than they did last night. So this is the twists and turns of life in the NFL as a quarterback. You know, it's a chess match more often than not. And to me, apart from wins and losses, and I said this way back at the beginning of the year, not even as important as winning games for the Giants this year, I think it's even more critical that Jaxson Dart plays every single one of these games the rest of the season to get that experience, Chris, that's going to benefit him starting next year when they hit the ground running.
Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York on the ESPN New York app. We will continue getting a lot of your comments in off of the YouTube page. If you haven't subscribed to the ESPN New York YouTube page, well, why not? Why haven't you done it? You got to look yourself in the mirror and ask that question. You got to go do it now so that you can be a part of the show and you can see the show, because visually, let me tell you what, the enhancement of what this product is, it's just going to blow your minds. It's Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York. Dan Grassa in for Bart today, right here on the ESPN New York app.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Score or win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
You know so much about who you are. But do you know what makes your body your body? With over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help you know the truth. Because you know you're made of grit, wit, and a good heart. But just how healthy is that heart? You know you're made up of all the places you've called home. You know you're made of your mom's sarcasm. And now you can find out if you have her thyroid too. You know you're made of college all-nighters and 30s early-nighters, but those still don't explain your sleep issues. You know that you're made up of good meals with even better conversation. But are you actually absorbing those nutrients? A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
The Association on Aging in New York is celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Older Americans Act, which funds vital programs for millions of older adults. Services include meals, transportation, home care, Medicare counseling, case management, and caregiver support. Today, people are uncertain whether some programs remain available. We can help. To learn more about these essential programs and how to keep them, visit our website at agingny.org. Sponsored by the Association on Aging in New York.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Hello, friends. It's quite the day, isn't it, when you can look up and see that you actually have a football team that appears functional. Wouldn't it be nice to have a second one on Sunday morning? It's Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York, on the ESPN New York app. Let's spend a minute there because there was a little bit of news just coming out a few minutes on the Jets. Jermaine Johnson back this week, according to Aaron Glenn, who said that just a few moments ago, my friend.
Yeah, all the money's rushing to the Jets side in Vegas from my sources. No, I'm kidding. I mean, look, will it help? Yeah, you would like to think because the one thing that you go back to last year, remember Jermaine Johnson got hurt in week 2 last season, was lost the rest of the way. Jet defensive line, not very good, thin, not much of a pass rush. And then this year he gets, week 1, they're all over Aaron Rodgers, right, with Jermaine Johnson in the lineup. Week 2, he gets hurt against Buffalo. The last 4 games, I think they may have a total of 3 sacks, and all eyes are basically on Quinnen Williams, and they just, double team him, triple team him, and nobody else is really there to pick up the slack. So having Jermaine back, I think, will help to a certain degree. They're also going to get back Kene Nwangwu, who's their kick returner, and in a weird way, like you just think about, and he got hurt in the middle of that Steelers game in the opener, Chris. And you would think, well, a kick returner goes down. Think about the domino effect from the Kene Nwangwu injury because he gets hurt, so Xavier Gipson has to pitch in and return kicks the rest of that game. He fumbles, which leads to his eventual release. They then have to go sign, Isaiah Williams, who has to do it. He fumbles. He gets released. Braylon Allen's returning kicks. He has close to a season-ending knee injury while returning kicks. So it's amazing. They should do like a 30 for 30 just on the Kene Nwangwu injury from week 1 and all the bloodshed that it's led to over there with the Jets.
Sometimes you just kind of have a visceral reaction to the beginning of a sentence. And when you said, think about the fallout from the Kene Nwangwu injury.
Right.
It's like my brain just shut down.
Well, you and a lot of others. It was probably like you heard that, and then like people's
but
brains
it's so
were
true.
People's brains were like Google's Kene Nwangwu.
How do you spell Nwangwu? You
Yeah.
know, but it's so true. Like you think about that and the effect that it had and the drama with which it came. I hate to say it, Dan. It just maybe it just eliminates one little piece of drama, one little piece of inconsistency, and that again, I don't want to oversell this. Okay, I know what we're dealing with here. I will continue to believe that it was not supposed to be anywhere near as bad as it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not someone that is losing faith in Aaron Glenn. I'm not going to worry about all that stuff. What I worry about is, for whatever reason, the tenets by which he wants to live are not translating right now. And there are a couple of things that I hear that bother me. I heard somebody bring this up, and this, granted, when I hear these, I'm not talking about from the Jets, okay? I don't hear these from the Jets. This is from people around the Jets or fans, too, who will say this kind of thing. Number one, well, he just needs time to get his guys in there. I hate that. I hate that. Penalties have nothing to do with that. Undisciplined football has nothing to do with that. It's not about system with that stuff. It's just about being smart. Secondly, I also hear from people, well, we knew this wasn't going to happen overnight. Actually, we thought it was going to be better than it was last year, and they won 5 games last year. Because we thought defensively they were going to be good enough where that would have played a major role. So I would say that it bothers me to hear those kinds of things now. Again, they're not coming from the Jets. I want to be very clear on that. Mm-hmm. If people are trying to start to sell that narrative, God, stop.
Well, 2 things. There's a couple of teams right now that are also starting over with new coaches, and they're getting results. One is New England, okay, but a little bit of a difference. New England went out there, and I'm not surprised that they're improved because the Patriots went out there and spent like drunken sailors in free agency. Okay, it was almost inevitable that they would be better. And Vrabel's a good coach. And remember, the Jets wanted Vrabel. I was in the building. Like when Vrabel was there for his interview. He literally walked right past me down the stairs when they were taking him out to the car, the Escalade that was waiting out front to take him back to the airport, okay? So Vrabel was on their radar, and this is not a knock on Aaron Glenn, but I'm just saying, Vrabel's a good coach. The one that's surprising and what throws a wrench maybe into that type of an argument for, patience is what's happening in Jacksonville. And I'll take the hit. I thought the Liam Cohen hire was not very inspiring. He had, it's going to be in the Hall of Fame of worst introductory press conferences with the Duval. Yeah. And I'm like, they hired this. Like, if I'm a guy on that team, I'm gonna run through a brick wall for this guy. He looks like a buffoon. Right. Like, God. And you've seen what they're doing this year. They look improved. Now, 4 or 5 games doesn't make a season, but that's like a crutch, as you said, right? Got to get his guys in there. And to a certain extent, I think that, that will have to maybe take an offseason or 2, but at least the early returns right now, the guys that they chose to make, quote-unquote, their guys, not turning out so good. They went and signed Brandon Stevens from the Ravens in the offseason to be one of their guys. Gave him a 3-year deal, $36 million. He hadn't been good. One of my favorite guys in that locker room, Jamie and Sherwood, okay? They re-signed him. He had a lot of suitors in free agency. He had a career year last year. They made him a captain. Took over as like the C.J. Mosley. He will be the first to tell you, Chris, he has not had a good season so far. Yeah. And I think that he's maybe trying to do a little too much, but they gave this guy big money. And Aaron Glenn, without ever coaching him before, decided to make him one of his guys. He's got to be better. And then you got the guy, it's the elephant in the room, the guy who's calling the defense. You hired him. You never coached with him before, right? You brought him in. You want to stay out of the way and let him do his thing. The early returns have not been good.
So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yep.
The comment from Aaron Glenn earlier in the week, it was after the game, I think, that when they asked about taking away play calling duties, which, I get it, it's still early and maybe we don't necessarily need to be looking at that. But the comment that Aaron Glenn made I thought was great and also at the same time a little bit concerning. Mm-hmm. Aaron Glenn talked about how when things were going terribly in week 1, or in year 1 in Detroit, that somehow Dan Campbell was more than confident to stick with him and let him keep calling the defense. And thus, he's going to have that same loyalty to Steve Wilks. Loyalty's important, but it's not the be-all, end-all. And it can't be the be-all, end-all. And I understand wanting to support a guy and giving him an opportunity. But at some point for coaches, it becomes at your own peril. And you can't let it get too late before you make that decision. Now, it's not going to be too late if at the end of this year he fires Steve Wilks. That's not going to be too late. What'll be too late is if he continues to let this defense play the way it does. And what Bart has been talking about a lot is the communication factor, which leads to confusion into what guys are supposed to be doing.
Correct. You're right about that. And a couple of things with that, too. I'm glad you brought that up. At the end of the day, there's two people, I always say, that get a win and a loss attached next to their name with a football team. The quarterback and the head coach. Not the defensive coordinator, not the offensive coordinator. So you could be loyal. You could want to be hands-off all you want if you're Aaron Glenn, but at the end of the day, 0-5 is next to Aaron Glenn's name, not Steve Wilks' name. Right? You're the HC. You're the head coach. It falls on you, as coaches all like to say. The buck stops with me. The difference also between the Detroit situation that he referenced and what's happening right now, remember, Dan Campbell not a defensive coach. Dan Campbell was a tight end when he played. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if Dan Campbell wanted to take the defensive play calling away from Aaron Glenn back then, it's not like Dan Campbell was going to take it up himself. Meantime, Aaron Glenn, though, could. Aaron Glenn's a defensive coach. He was a coordinator. There's the difference. Now Dan Campbell could have given the play calling duties to somebody else on the staff. I get it. But it's not quite the same thing because Aaron Glenn could just say, you know what, the hell with this. I'm tired of watching it. I'm going to be calling the defense. Or maybe they do some things behind the scene. Like Todd Bowles did that too when he was here. It was too little too late, unfortunately. But the quote-unquote defensive coordinator back then for the Jets was Casey Rogers. He and Todd Bowles very close. Like even had him on his staff in Tampa Bay, took him with him, very, very close. So Todd didn't want to seem like he was being too authoritative and making Casey look bad. So he never took away play calling duties. But if you watch those games after a while, Todd was the one calling the defense. Like you knew it, right? So I don't know if the same thing happens here with Aaron Glenn, if the results aren't what they need him to be, but it's got to be better. Because Quinnen Williams, I guess, said it in London yesterday when he was doing media. He said, right now we're the worst defense in the league, and let's face it, it's hard to argue. It's hard to argue.
I can't believe that's what we're living with.
Yeah.
Considering what the talent is. All right, well, can we talk about that one last thing here before we're going to get to sideline in a second, and I haven't gotten your take on this, and you're obviously incredibly close to it as you are. I right now still see a lot of talent on this defense, but am I wrong, or have we been wrong in evaluating what the talent is based on the Joe Douglas drafts with some of these guys? Are we wrong in saying that some of these guys are more talented than they are playing, or did we just overestimate that?
Some guys aren't playing as well as they should be playing. I think that's what the answer is.
Sauce is getting picked on a little bit. Let's be fair. He's getting picked on.
Sauce is getting picked on. Yes. And he'll be the first to tell you. Got to be a little bit better. Now, that play last week, the Pickens touchdown, I don't think he wanted to throw somebody under the bus, but I think there was a busted coverage in terms of safety help.
Yeah.
I think number 22 was back there, and that's not exactly new. That's been happening a lot.
Yeah.
But the guys that they brought in to start on this defense, like Brandon Stevens, one of them, Andre Sisco, the safety, who was with Jacksonville, these guys have not played well. I mean, what I saw last week and what everybody who watched that game saw, those two touchdowns the Cowboys scored late in the first half, especially the one where, the ball was deep in Cowboy territory and there was 27 seconds left or whatever the heck it was in the half. And the Cowboys called a draw play to basically just run out the clock. And Javonte Williams rumbles right up the middle for 66 yards down to the 1 yard line. I can't believe I'm seeing. I mean, look, on Saturdays for how many years you watched and I watched horrible football. I mean, almost like non-competitive, like I was watching 7th grade stuff at major college levels. That's kind of what I felt like I was watching defensively at times last Sunday. Like it was inferior is the word that I would use. But on that note, I don't want to leave the offense out of this too because you know what else is an issue? You realize since the first game against the Steelers, they've not scored a touchdown in the first 3 quarters. That's how many games we're talking. 4 games. 4 games, they have not scored a touchdown in the first 3 quarters. Who are you beating?
Now, do you think because of the time change that it's later in the day that the first quarter, that those 3 quarters are going to feel even later, and maybe that will help?
For them or for me?
I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
I told you, I'm going to be fine. We'll be fine.
Oh, I know you'll be fine.
I got the breakfast situation figured out. I think we're in a good place there, and that's half the battle.
I've had those times, Dan. I've had those times mentally where you are right now.
Yeah,
I've had those times before. Me, I'm going to be good. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. It's all good.
But I'll tell you, you want another
I would
example.
say 2017 to 2019, that's around where I was.
The coach, if we could go back to those happy times, the Coach Nunzio interim reign, that was something.
But you know what? I have to say, he's one of my favorite people.
Great guy. And
Chris Ash, I still keep in touch with.
His brother is getting a lot of talk of,
Anthony's doing a tremendous job at Jacksonville.
He's doing a great job. He's on the radar now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as far as he might be in the big chair pretty soon somewhere.
Nunzio had a lot to do with the success last year of McCord at Syracuse too. So anyway, you and I could get off of so many tangents. It's unbelievable. But anyway, let's hit a little sideline to sideline before we get fired.
Let's do it.
It's going to happen.
This is Sideline to Sideline. Go. With Bart and Carlin.
Tom Bauer is here. He is here to host Sideline to Sideline. Tom, please, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. So, because we were talking about the Jets' defense here for the past, 17 minutes or so, there's one thing that Jermaine Johnson pointed out in his press conference out in foggy London town that I want to bring up because...
Out in foggy London town?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure...
That's like the stereotype.
Yeah, if it was
Jack
like
the Ripper.
1787.
What year did you go with?
I went 1787.
So you went 18th
Could have been
century.
1878. I don't know.
Okay.
Could have been any one of them. Why don't you just throw on a tape of Bridget Jones' Diary and we'll, pack it in the rest of the show. How about that, Tom?
I can't reference that. I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
I haven't.
Have.
I would be honest with you.
You've never seen a Bridget Jones movie?
No, I haven't. I've seen so much bad cinema that I'm proud to say that I saw. I've never seen any of those Bridget Jones movies.
I saw the first 2. I didn't see the one with the baby.
There's a third. They actually made it up to 3?
Yeah, they had a third.
I didn't know that.
I'll tell you this: that Colin Firth, he can wear a sweater.
Talking a nice cardigan.
Chris Carlin, big Colin Firth and big Bridget Jones' Diary fan.
Nice.
I didn't say that. I just saw that I had seen him, and I'm willing to admit.
Well, I'm making an accusation here, and I think I'm correct on that.
Fine.
At any rate, Jermaine Johnson alluded to 3 vital words that you want to hear when your team is struggling, and that's players-only meeting. Because apparently that's something that the Jets had.
We had a players-only meeting, and just everybody was on the same page. We have to be better. We can't be the reason we lose. That can't happen. And we have too much talent. You just got to, Coach AG has had our back in terms of how he's run this thing, instilling certain culture in here, and we got to have his back by putting a good product out there. That's our job. So definitely take full accountability, and we're just talking about, what we need to do different heading in this week and utilizing this full week out here, and so to say, like another week of camp within the season. We get blessed to have that. So just utilizing this time and definitely putting a good product on the field.
Has anybody ever come out of a players-only meeting and saying, God, we are really not on the same page? We had 6 guys walk out of that thing and say, F this, I'm out. Has that ever happened, or is it always, oh, yeah, we let me tell you something, we are in lockstep right now.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think that, because players-only meetings are supposed to be serious in nature, right? Like they want to get there, because there's a problem. They got to sort through some things. Is food intake discouraged during a players-only meeting?
Oh, I got to believe that there are some Uncrustables involved at the very least.
That's
you
what I
have
mean.
A snack table, don't you?
Yeah, because it might look like if you're at your locker and if you're woofing down an Uncrustable or 2, maybe you're not taking the meeting serious because you're concentrating on your nutrition.
For people who don't know when you get to be around a football team, there are consistently copious amounts of snacks and drinks available at every turn. So I would have to think that, yes, there are at the very least some snack bars and some Uncrustables that are available. Like, you wouldn't believe what the Uncrustable budget is for some of these football teams.
It's not even just football. Hockey, the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you see them at the snack table there in the middle of the dressing room. Yeah, it's all calories, carbs, energy.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, they keep track of whether or not it's a player who takes those. I can tell you that personally.
Now, let me ask you a question. The Uncrustables, the home storage of Uncrustables,
Yeah.
do you subscribe to refrigeration or non-refrigeration?
It says that it's supposed to be. It even says when you first bring them home, you're supposed to put them in the freezer.
The freezer?
Like, yeah. Like, I don't know. When I was a kid, we used to store peanut butter once it was opened in the fridge, and I never understood that, but we did. I would say, to be safe, yes, in the fridge, but I don't love it.
Can I bare my soul to you right now?
Please.
I'm a very honest individual. I told you, 2.5 minutes ago that I've never seen a Bridget Jones movie. And you can believe me or not believe me. It's your choice.
Yeah.
I've never had an Uncrustable.
I believe that. You don't have any kids, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that. I think I've only had one or two, maybe. I don't have any kids. I think that's the thing. Either you're on a football team or on a football staff or a professional sports team, or you're somebody with children. So,
well, it's like you said, I'm around them a lot. You see them all the time, and even staffers or whatever just walk by, grab them, and I've had opportunities. I've been offered Uncrustables, like
sure.
In the alleyways and in the schoolyards and stuff like that. Behind
why do you
the
make
Burger
it sound
Kings.
like you were offered crack?
Well, that's the comedy I was going for. But no, I've never had one. I've never had one.
In the alleyways. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't lean into it for a moment. I checked out.
One doing wind sprints in the alleyway either, if I want to tie in some current events.
Fair. Jeez.
I went there.
That's okay.
That's all right.
That's a whole thing, man.
That's a movie.
On?
That's
and I actually know that alley. I haven't been in it, but I know it. And why? Anyway,
is it conducive to a good wind sprint though?
It's not a.
Are you dodging dumpsters? Is basically what I'm getting at.
No, you can.
So
you
straight
can run
boom.
a wind sprint. It's a straight boom, and it's wide enough that I could see 2 people max running a wind sprint down that alley. Max,
like a race
at the same time. Yes, if they were having a race. If he was limbering up for a race, yeah, that might have been it. That might have been it.
Unbelievable.
Well, just not talking. Well, I do want you to think about this because we'll do it at some point.
Yeah.
What's the dumbest thing that you can say on the radio that you've ever done when you've been drunk? Just mull on that as we get back to sideline. Nothing to do with anything else. We're not commenting on anybody else's situation.
Not passing judgment, no.
No, well, a little bit we are, but
yeah.
I would just like to know because I've thought about that, and there have been some things. Anyway, Tom, next.
Yeah, that was a nice little 5-minute tangent, boys. Good job.
Yeah.
So moving on, I would play the cut about Dable talking about going into the medical tent to kind of set up the situation here, but I'm not going to do that because we just spent 5 minutes talking about Uncrustables and wind sprints in an alleyway.
All right, Tom, now you're just prolonging the problem, okay?
Yeah, I know. My bad. So anyway, Adam Schefter, NFL said it's initiated a review of the application of the concussion protocol involving Giants quarterback Jaxson Dart during last night's game against the Eagles. The review will be conducted jointly with the NFLPA under the parties' collective bargaining agreement. Not sure if that has to deal with people trying to run into the blue tent or exactly the whole process of what took place with Dart.
Well, I was thinking about this last night when it was happening, and we haven't really touched on this part. That really doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good when the head coach is sprinting in there and then is yelling at a doctor on the sideline. The optics of that, and who knows what was being said, the optics of that are just bad. Just bad.
Obviously, we see, like, what happens when they remove the blue tent, but every time they put that blue tent up and it's in use, I sit there and I, like, allow my mind to wander. I'm thinking, like, do they have, like, a string section in the blue tent? Is there, like, you know, a stack of magazines, you know, refreshments that they offer guys? You're like, what does that blue tent transform into inside
you just
there?
turn the blue tent into some sort of a donation center.
Or a waiting room,
Okay.
right?
Well, I don't think that there was I don't think it was a waiting room. Like, I had you turning that into some sort of you're going in there. When you said magazines, I don't know.
They have like an espresso machine in the corner, like for
that would be
a nice beverage. You know what they should have? Because I don't know if you realize this. I never played professional football. One of the reasons I think that it swayed me in another direction was I don't think I would have been comfortable if I had to use the restroom in the middle of a game. Like, they should use the blue tent as like an emergency stop-off if somebody had to, you know, go.
They don't?
You would like to think that they would, but you don't see the tent up that often, which would lead you to believe that maybe they're not.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard stories about guys who've tried to hide themselves, but
or they just let it fly.
Yeah, that too. That's not comfortable.
No, it's not. But I'm saying, like, think about it. They could have the blue tent, put it to good use if nobody needs it for like a serious injury.
I'll tell you, in this version of sideline to sideline,
yeah, it's all over the place.
You got everything you needed to know from a football standpoint.
Everything.
Well,
we just said it's not a great slate of games this week, so I think this is more pressing and more important anyways.
Yeah. I'm going to have to pick out 2 other games for us to pick this week, and you're right. There's not a great slate to pick from. Anyway.
Before the season, it looked like, but, you know, like you're like on paper, oh, these are good games, but the fact that the teams aren't any good, like that Rams-Ravens game, like we thought would have been like a blockbuster, but the Ravens, they're not good, Bob.
Yeah, they're terrible. Oh, my God, I can't get over how bad they are.
They are getting 2 guys back, though. They're getting Kyle Hamilton back and somebody, I can't remember, but they're still, like, battered in so many other, including quarterback.
It's Bart and Carlin, 880 ESPN, on the ESPN New York app and over on YouTube as well. Dan Grassa is in for Bart. Bart is over in London. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about this, but we should have had Bart call in from London just to get the vibe of London from Bart and see exactly what he has seen. I'm going to drop him a text.
Remember, he ain't going to be able to get through.
Why not?
800-919-3776.
Oh, right. Crap. The phones don't work.
How soon we forget.
It's like if you could look through the screen right now, it's like you just crushed my spirit.
I know, it did. It's like I need to apologize. We need to call Ma Bell and get the things fixed.
Yeah. Daniel Minecraft on YouTube checking in. What we doing? It's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's what we're doing. Bart and Carlin,
That's it.
ESPN New York.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. BetterHelp therapists have helped over 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. That's millions of stories, millions of journeys, and behind every one is a therapist who showed up, listened, and helped someone take a step forward. Moments in therapy, like the right question, a safe space to cry, or a small win, can change lives. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it works, with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our fans get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp.com/timeout.
Did you know women account for 2/3 of all Americans living with Alzheimer's and 2/3 of all Alzheimer's family caregivers? Join the Alzheimer's Foundation of America at its Women Empowerment Forum on November 5th in Amityville to learn practical ways women can reduce their risk for Alzheimer's and enhance quality of life for themselves and their loved ones living with Alzheimer's. For more information or to register, visit alzfdn.org or call 866-232-8484.
Getting the right mattress helps you sleep at night. Getting the right price helps you sleep even better. At PC Richard & Son, they don't just sell you a mattress. Their experts use a 4-step fitting process to make sure your new bed fits you perfectly. The right fit, the right price, plus free delivery. It's what they do, only at PC Richard & Son. Free delivery on mattresses $199 and up. Excludes Manhattan. See stores for details.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Ballybet Sportsbook. Yo, Ballybet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Ballybet. Check out that brand new parlay zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Ballybet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today. Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Ballybet Sportsbook and Casino. Download it.
Just printed from the Erie Canal Press, the most coveted ticket, New York Lottery's $1 million raffle, hath arrived. 15 fortunate souls shall come into the fortune of a millionaire.
Translation, the $1 million raffle is here, and 15 winners are going to become millionaires. The New York Lottery commemorates 200 years of the Erie Canal with your best odds of winning $1 million. Limited tickets available. Ask your local retailer today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
I'm home.
Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you...
Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service. Guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
People on the YouTube chat trying to solve our phone problems for us. Jim Fan, J-I-M Fan, isn't there a guest line that Bart could call in on? No, like all the phone lines are not working.
Yeah, we're kaput.
Yeah.
It's not selective.
The phones didn't work. He said the phones didn't work all morning, but the guys had Samini and Jordan on. Yeah, they were on headphones and Zoom and that kind of thing.
Yeah, they connected. Comrex, all that stuff. Yeah. Not phones. Yeah. Not the phones.
Not phones. Let's see here. Mustafa checking in. I've been saying that we should have started Dart from day one. Even more so if we had drafted Sanders, we'd be 5-1. And then he gets into race and quarterbacks. Well, first of all, Shedeur Sanders has not played yet for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I would like to point something out that I think people sometimes really do forget. When you are a coach, particularly one on the hot seat, you generally play the player who gives you the best opportunity to win. And you base that evaluation upon what you see in practice. So my guess would be that if Shedeur Sanders hasn't gotten a sniff in Cleveland, where they played Dylan Gabriel ahead of him, who's about 5'6", and they played Joe Flacco in front of him, who they then turned around and traded. My guess is that Kevin Stefanski does not think Shedeur Sanders is ready to play NFL football.
Teacher, I have a question. Can I raise my hand? Teacher?
Yeah.
I have a question. Even if you want to believe in the conspiracy theories, which I think there's a lot of weight to it, in Cleveland in particular, that the owner is very influential and meddlesome and kind of calls the shots, like drafting Shedeur Sanders. Like if you saw the look in the draft room after the pick was announced, like Andrew Berry, the GM, looked like, he was being held hostage when the cameras went on him, like
it
wasn't
turned out
his call.
it was like, hey guys, remember the cameras are going to be on here.
Yes. Let's if they want to bring like the race thing in with the quarterback, remember like the Cleveland Browns and the owner Jimmy Haslam decided to trade for and give what will go down in history as the worst contract ever given to a player, with the $200+ million guaranteed to Deshaun Watson. Correct?
Yeah.
And what is the bang for the
correct.
buck that they've gotten with that return?
And that player, if you'll remember, with all of his baggage, did not want to go to Cleveland, and so they made the whole thing guaranteed so he would.
Right. So my point is like they played Deshaun Watson with the baggage, with the everything. Because to Chris's point, they want to win, whether it's the head coach calling the shots, whether it's the owner calling the shots. People want to win. It don't matter what your problems. You know what? Let's bring him back up again. I thought we were done talking about him. I'm going to bring him back up one more time. If Mark Sanchez was still an active player and was a good quarterback and can help somebody win, in light of what just happened last week, one of the 32 teams, Chris, would be offering him a contract as soon as he was fit and ready. You know it, I know it, and so does everybody listening knows that.
That is accurate.
Indianapolis would sign him.
Oh, my God. There's a couple of good lines here, by the way, coming in on the live chat, which is why I love the live chat. Get involved on YouTube. Follow us over on YouTube. If you're not subscribed, I don't know why you're not, because you get to see the show live each and every day and chime in there. First comment here was Liam Frank regarding the phones and offering some assistance as to trying to fix it. Did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in?
That is, you know what? Keep it simple, stupid. That's that's the extent of my engineering expertise right there as well.
Yep, and this is not bad. I don't know if it's accurate, but this is not bad. Javi from Queens, who we know well.
Yes.
Sauce is now dry rub. It's not sauce. I'm not there yet on sauce.
Like a powdery kind of.
I never enjoyed dry rub. I tried it several times. Never enjoyed dry rub.
You're going to call me crazy. You know what the problem with dry rub is? A little too dry.
A little dry. Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York. Let's get to some audio files.
The audio file.
Boy, we are giving the clock all kinds of integrity today. Let's get to it. Here's Tom Bauer with audio files.
Oh, yeah. And Dan pointed this out to me at some point in the 11 o'clock hour, and he wanted me to play this audio, and so I rolled on it, and we're going to play it. Apparently, every year they go out to London, there's always one British reporter that asks, why should you support the franchise of whoever's playing out there. And, well, Jermaine Johnson was asked that today.
There's a lot of fans who haven't got a team, and it's the first time they've seen any form of NFL action. So why should they support the Jets?
I mean, like I said, we haven't put a good product out there, at least defensively. So we definitely look to flip that coin and give them something to cheer for on Sunday.
Great sales job.
The only reason I remember that is because last year they asked the same question to Robert Saleh, when they went out there. And, he gave like a 45-second answer and, all the positives, and an ironic twist of fate. As soon as the plane landed from that London trip, he was no longer a part of the Jets, which is cruel. But
it was unfortunate.
But that's kind of like, even media here, and you've been around long enough, you know this. Like, there's media here who...
Wait a minute, was that after the trip last year or was it the week later?
Oh, it was right. It was the Tuesday after the trip, so 48 hours after the game.
I thought it was when they played Denver.
No, they lost to Denver, then went to London, lost to Minnesota, came home the Tuesday after the game.
Okay, I thought...
The Denver loss, because remember... At the time, we thought Denver was bad.
Put Woody over the edge, I think.
They lost 10-9.
Right, in the rain.
In the rain, and that was the one because we thought Denver was no good. And then it was how do you lose to Denver? So that put everybody on high alert. Then London happens. Rodgers has, 2-3 turnovers in the first quarter, and then too little too late.
Well, it's like I've always said, nothing good happens when you leave America.
Nope.
Or if you're in Indianapolis at 3 in the morning.
Nothing
Next.
at all.
All right. Well, back to the Giants' victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. So, Jaxson Dart was asked about what type of message that the Giants sent after the huge W.
We can't be naive to, everything. So we hear what people say. It definitely lights a fire in us. And me and Scott talked about, last week we felt like it was kind of just on us, losing that game. And we moved the ball just fine. Our big emphasis was just make sure that we take care of the ball. And we felt like, if we do that, then we're going to move the ball up the field. So I'm just really proud of how the guys played. And I think that, we're just trying to set a standard of intensity here each and every day.
Well, they're
what do you think of that
bringing
nickname?
That intensity.
Scats.
Scats?
Do you like that?
Well, they can't call him Boo.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Me and Scats. That means Scats.
Me and Scats. Yeah. It's not bad, but they're I don't know. The two of them along with the coach, it's a little much.
These guys were masquerading around in frat parties this time last year. Scats was, headbutting his head up against brick walls, wearing a football helmet, though.
Scats, but you know what? Scats has done it without a football helmet. You and I.
Scats is an equal opportunity offender.
Has been in the basement of many a fraternity house doing that and putting.
Right.
How many holes in walls do you think there are still in fraternity houses at Arizona State? I mean, think about that combination.
Several.
Arizona State, Skattebo's head, fraternity house walls.
I'm sure that there was probably a cactus or two that was probably included in the festivities along the way out in Arizona.
He is Billy Bob from Varsity Blues minus about 200 pounds.
But think about it, though. Scats, Dart, these are the guys 5 minutes out of college and off a college campus themselves that have instilled hope and energy and excitement around the New York Football Giants. They come in all different shapes and sizes, my friend.
Right now, the way it's gone, nobody cares what it looks like.
No,
they want it to be entertaining. They don't want boring. But if these guys might be a little bit annoying in the process of winning, who the hell cares?
Yep, that's it.
It'll as we've seen, it'll wear thin when you lose.
And like you said, all shapes and sizes. The other thing, too, in light of not just what we saw last night with the Giants or whatever, but if you look around, this thing, and I mean, it's the NFL, this thing is wide open. 5 weeks in, it is wide open. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe not for New York football, but league-wide, it's wide open.
I'm all right. I'm just going to say this real quick. Is there any reason right now, given the state of the NFC East, that you actually have any kind of little bit of hope there?
Define hope.
My game in week 12 and week 13 means something.
Just as a playoff spot?
My game in week 12, week 13 means something.
On the NFC side of things, yes.
NFC East.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of hope. Wow.
Three of the four teams in the division right now have a negative point differential.
That's great. Next.
All right, well, those are two culture changers in the Giants locker room, and, well, maybe the Eagles need a little bit of a culture change on their own. Let me explain. So Saquon Barkley, before last night's game, talked about a meeting that took place between some of the offensive geniuses on the team.
Yeah, we had a conversation, but I'm not going to speak too much on it. That conversation is meant to stay between us. Focus was all about the team, and I think it was a good thing.
Us being Saquon, Jalen Hurts, and A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown talked about how great of a meeting that was.
I don't recall a meeting.
Oh, okay. The meeting that we're at.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Those guys said it did happen.
Oh, you need to talk to them.
You weren't in the meeting?
No, I don't recall.
Or you don't want to?
I don't recall.
Not good over there.
I don't recall. What are you in front? Congress?
In fairness, maybe each guy has a different interpretation of the word meeting, right? Like maybe to Saquon, to Hurts, it was more of a meeting. Maybe at A.J. Brown, he thought they were just having a conversation. Like maybe they stepped aside, in the hallway while the rest of the team, went back into the locker room. Maybe they didn't think it was a meeting.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's saying, I don't know about a meeting.
A.J. Brown's definition of a meeting, there must be a conference table involved.
Like, there's a secretary that I'll bring you into the office now. Would you like some tap water that we have?
Does somebody
here in the
have to be
pitcher?
taking minutes for there to have been a meeting? Yeah.
Right. Conference
That's what it
room,
feels
like you said. Maybe a smart board, something.
Yep.
Uncrustables.
Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York and on the ESPN New York app. Chris Canty at the top of the hour. That is 13 minutes from now, joining us in his normal spot to talk all things football and even about the disappointment of his Yankees as well. It's Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York and on the ESPN New York app.
Friday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, a stunner in MetLife. Jaxson Dart and Cam Skattebo led the Giants to an upset of the Eagles.
This is the greatest feeling in the world. And Rick, this is why you watch.
Is this the start of a turnaround?
Good team win. Home crowd was awesome, but we got to give them a reason to be awesome too. So another good game by a rookie quarterback.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Ready to fire up your Saturdays? FanDuel has got a boost you don't want to miss. It's called Boostin' with the Boys, and it's given everyone a college football profit boost every single week. Here's how it goes. Each week, they're giving everyone a profit boost to use on college football. No opt-in gymnastics, no invite-only nonsense. Everyone gets the boost. We're talking real games, real teams, real Saturdays with an extra payout on the line. It's easy, it's fun, and it's only on FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/Peter to download the app. Check out the Boostin' with the Boys offer and get in on the action. Each week, they're giving everyone a profit boost to use on college football. Everyone gets the boost. We're talking real games, real teams, real Saturdays with an extra payout on the line. It's easy, it's fun, and it's only on FanDuel. 21 or over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issues, non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with the gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
The Fox Nation Patriot Awards returns for a new year.
Are you ready to get the show started?
Join host Sean Hannity and special guests and be part of the celebration live in New York. Tickets are available now. Go to foxnation.com/Patriot Awards.
Score a win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Okay, girls, ready to go?
Yeah! Mom, I'm hungry. Can I have a snack? Me too, Mommy.
You want a snack?
Yeah!
Got it?
Children learn from our behaviors.
Mommy, can you open this? All right, hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay, here. Thank you.
They learn what is okay from the adults they see.
Mommy, are you on your phone?
If you're a distracted driver, chances are they will be too. What kind of driver are you raising? Funded by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
You know so much about who you are. But do you know what makes your body your body? With over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help you know the truth. Because you know you're made of grit, wit, and a good heart. But just how healthy is that heart? You know you're made up of all the places you've called home. You know you're made of your mom's sarcasm. And now you can find out if you have her thyroid too. You know you're made of college all-nighters and 30s early-nighters. But those still don't explain your sleep issues. You know that you're made up of good meals with even better conversation. But are you actually absorbing those nutrients? A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
In the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports, ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
When you think about Tom Cruise's achievements, and you think about this song in particular, is this among his greatest achievements aside from saving movies during the pandemic, when he was dancing to this as Les Grossman at the end of Tropic Thunder?
Again,
it's up there.
You might think less of me, but I've not seen that movie from start to finish.
I don't think less of you. The movie's problematic, but if you go back and watch it, he dressed as the movie executive and performed that song with J-Lo at the VMAs that year.
Oh,
and I would just give yourself, in addition to that being at the end of the movie, like rolling during the credits, I don't think Tom Cruise has ever done anything better in his career than playing Les Grossman, a.k.a. Harvey Weinstein, at the time. I really don't.
So transport yourself back to like 2012 or whenever it was. Like that's right out of Central Casting.
Peak Cruise. Yeah.
I see. And a lot of people are down. I think it's a victim of success. I don't have a problem with Cruise. I don't
at all. Is there ever been have you or I ever seen a bigger movie star? No.
Well, he's actually a very diminutive fellow. Like if you just get him out in the wild or something.
Oh, well, that's true. That's
bigger
true.
Movie star.
But I mean, you understand what I'm saying. Like, you know what I couldn't get over is that, and I'm actually gonna get to a phone call in a second because we believe they are working.
Come on.
I can't believe, and I know this is stupid. I can't believe how short so many of these Hollywood stars are.
Oh yeah.
Like I just finished watching Mob World. If you haven't seen that. And in that is Tom Hardy, who played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. Now, you look at Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, that looks like a big, scary dude. Tom Hardy is 5'8".
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. Stunned.
They had to do some trick photography with that one.
Yes, I went back and watched it. And they're always shooting him from below, and I'm sure he's got the lift boots on or whatever.
The boxes that he's standing on, probably, or something like that. And they probably have so many guys that they're on their knees in front of him begging for mercy.
Right,
which also
and
helps
he's
things.
always standing on the steps at City Hall. Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Oh, you got to watch out for those steps at City Hall.
Exactly.
No
All right, let's
skateboarding at City Hall.
I was born in it, molded by it.
Very good movie, by the way. Tremendous.
Very good. That put me off of all other superhero movies ever because the way those two were done, the Batman Begins one, okay. But the way Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises were done, I don't know if you can do it better.
I still contend, and I think they were all the Christopher Nolan ones were great. I still, for me though, and maybe it was the time of my life, and if you remember,
the original
the Tim Burton Batman 1989 Nicholson Keaton that takes the cake. Like that summer of '89 was just like, wow,
it was magical.
Yeah,
it was magical. Let's try and see if we can get this to work with Tessa in West Caldwell. Hello, Tessa. It must be an incredible morning.
Let's freaking go.
There we go.
Listen, I'm crashing out. Hey, guys. Hey, Dan. Hey, Carlin. Thanks so much for taking my call. Listen, I was crashing out. I said the day that my team shocks the world, they want the phones to go down? Oh, they bugging. They better get these phones up because us Giants callers is trying to call in. So thank God I didn't have to crash out. Thank God. And the phones is working. I'm going to tell you guys something right now. The only negative, Carlin, I agree with you 1,000%. Like, you're doing too much, Dable, okay? We know you're trying to save your job. Please hop off and knock it off. Like, you're sweating them. You're just doing too much. Like, I feel the same way, too, Carlin. Like, okay, you running into the tent. You arguing with the concussion specialist on the sideline. Like, knock it off, okay? He's doing great. Let's do that. But say that behind closed doors. We know what you're trying to do. You're trying to save your job, and it might not work, but stop it. So I agree with you with that. It's a little bit too drama-filled. Like, stop it. But
no, I think you're right. You're right. He's sweating them too much. It's exactly what's going on.
It's too much. Like, hop off of it. Like, stop it. Like, I don't know. It gets a little annoying. Or all the one-on-one and the hugging and the talking and all that. Like, we know Daniel Jones wasn't your guy. We know that when you came in. He couldn't stand him. And that's why you used to just blast him on the sidelines. This is your guy. You drafted him. But relax, though. Relax. You still might not have a job next year. Stop. So I agree with you, Carlin, with that one. But, guys, listen, let me just tell you something really quick. And you know me, 100%. I'm very, very transparent. I say the best stuff. I say the worst stuff. I keep it real with my team. When we're trash, we're trash. I'm going to tell you right now, we on the outside of the dumpster looking in. You know what I mean? Like, right now, I feel like everybody else is in the dumpster. We're on the outside looking in. That defense really is starting to show what we know they can be. And it's just like, I don't know if Shane Bowen got a tutorial from somebody. I don't know. He might have called the Bill Parcells. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. But right now, keep it going. The offensive line, that's what a shout-out got to come to. They are the heroes of the game.
Tessa, they did an amazing job, and thanks for the call. They were absolutely fantastic last night, and you're on the outside of the dumpster looking in. What a special feeling that is right now.
I mean, anytime you can avoid the dumpster, you're looking at it as opposed to swimming in it.
Yeah,
you're living large. But I said to you, and I know we got to take a break or whatever, but I said to you before, right now, like imagine there's a football version of a Royal Rumble over the next week, and one team will emerge, and you have to bet your life on it. Right now, 5/6 weeks into the season, who to you is the team to beat in the NFC?
Ooh. I got to consider that. How about I give you an answer? Next, Chris Canty, also, by the way, on the way in moments. Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. BetterHelp therapists have helped over 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. That's millions of stories, millions of journeys, and behind every one is a therapist who showed up, listened, and helped someone take a step forward. Moments in therapy, like the right question, a safe space to cry, or a small win can change lives. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it works. With an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our fans get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp.com/timeout.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson for three. And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Just printed from the Erie Canal Press, the most coveted ticket, New York Lottery's $1 million raffle, hath arrived. 15 fortunate souls shall come into the fortune of a millionaire.
Translation, the $1 million raffle is here, and 15 winners are going to become millionaires. The New York Lottery commemorates 200 years of the Erie Canal with your best odds of winning $1 million. Limited tickets available. Ask your local retailer today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the weather first, before wearing face paint to the game.
Bro, your Go Cats is dripping into your nachos.
Oh, and now paint is in my eyes.
Interception! Did you see that?
No! Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has all the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats right at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy teams synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
I just saw a headline that is a little alarming.
Yeah.
And I'll just read it to you.
Sure.
It is from Awful Announcing, Dan, and it is, quote, Ryan Clark tells a bizarre story. This is from First Take today. Tells a bizarre story about how Cam Skattebo offering him candy that he had stuck in his pants without showering after Arizona State games. Hell no. What makes you think I'd eat your crotch candy? Yeah. Thoughts, comments, responses.
So we're talking football pants, which would then imply no pockets, right? Because football pants don't have pockets.
Correct.
So they got to go somewhere, which means it's going to be in a region that is,
less than ideal.
Yeah, sweat, odor, germs, bacteria, just general grossness.
Yeah.
I would pass on the candy as well.
All right, but I have other questions. Why candy? Why carry it there? Why offer it to someone else at that point?
Now, is this immediately like right off the field? Because then my question is, how do you go about obtaining the candy if you're playing a football game?
I would
do they
just
have
say
sideline candy.
It doesn't. Listen, I can't listen to the clip right now because apparently it was on First Take within the last hour or so. But I'm just seeing the headline and giving you the context with which I have to work. So I cannot provide more insight on the situation than
it goes back to what we said earlier in the show about the bagel situation. Like, we live in a prosperous country to where, like, if I want a piece of candy bad enough, I think that pretty much all I have to do is just go outside, walk 5 feet, and I'd be able to get a fresh piece of candy of my choosing. without having to take it out of the pants of a guy who just played a football game.
You'd think. What about a bagel? Would you take that out of the pants of a guy who just took a
even more
game?
No. Like, it gun to my head, I would still probably choose the candy because guess what? The candy's wrapped.
Excellent point. I tell you, the logistics, I go back to the fact that you really plan things out and examine every angle when you are making decisions, and that is to be admired. It is.
You have to.
It really is.
You have to.
It's Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York and on the ESPN New York app. Dan Grassa is in for Bart today. What a giant win last night. A win I think we can say that none of us expected. They were heavy underdogs. You had a team on the other side that's been reeling, that seems to just for whatever reason yearly create their own stupid drama where they don't need to. And sometimes some teams operate great in the drama. And eventually, maybe that's what will happen with the Eagles. But what I saw last night was the Giants play relatively disciplined football, not a lot of penalties, certainly not dumb penalties, and more than anything, took advantage of a situation, Dan, where the other team was reeling, and even when they showed signs of life, they were able to step on their necks by making a big play. And holy cow, how refreshing was just all of that together.
Absolutely. Biggest win for the Giants probably since the playoff win against the Vikings, right? A couple of years ago, and there's been a lot of bad Sundays between that day and what you had last night. Now, I know it wasn't a Sunday, but still, it's a win. And, going into the game, expectations were low. Like, I would have, if I was in a survivor pool, like the Eagles are probably a popular pick going into that game tomorrow, given Giants banged up at wide receiver, Philadelphia coming off of a loss. Philadelphia has owned you for, a decade plus. Everything would have all lined up Philly's way. And it looked like it was going to, right? Like when they took that, I told you, 17-13 second quarter, I thought the Eagles were going to run and hide the rest of the game. And the Eagles didn't score another point the rest of the game instead. And just, doing it in a different way. It wasn't the same old, blind squirrel finds an acorn, Giants, and, Philadelphia shooting themselves in the foot. No, this infusion of youthful enthusiasm combined with talent, with Skattebo, with Dart, the defense, Brian Burns going out there and just wreaking havoc. A lot to be excited about. Now what you have to do to know if this thing is for real and if they've turned the corner, go out to Denver next week and beat the Broncos. You got to start stringing wins together to be taken seriously.
If you were to do that, again, you get a team coming in off a situation that was less than ideal. They would have been at that point away from home for a good 10 days because – remember, they were in Philadelphia last week, and they certainly went straight from Philadelphia to London. So they have not been at home in a while. Then they themselves, believe it or not, it's going to take a day or two for them to get reacclimated to what the altitudes are. Like, I'm throwing a lot of things together here. But, Dan, what I'm telling you is when you put all these small variables together, which are all things that football coaches very much consider, there's opportunity there. The Broncos, with that win last week, they were flying high, man. They were playing the Rocky theme in the locker room. I'm not exaggerating. Like, they were doing all those things. They were playing Meek Mill in the locker room to really stick it to the Philadelphia Eagles for the fact that they went in there and won that game. But I'll tell you what, Dan, I saw the Broncos back in week 2, and they're playing the Indianapolis Colts. And while Daniel Jones has been absolutely amazing, we also know that Daniel Jones, we also know that it's capable of changing at a moment's notice. It is. And not that he's going to go and turn around and be bad. He tore them up.
Yeah.
He tore them up. So they're capable of looking like a bad team.
And they still should have won that game if not for the Fugazi, snapper interference rule on the field goal nonsense, which I think was iffy anyways on that play.
That was bizarre.
Yeah.
That was bizarre.
It was almost like a human reflex, and the guy ended up putting his hand on the snapper's shoulder just because he was trying to brace his own fall kind of, but nevertheless. No, I mean, I think you're absolutely right here, and I think it still speaks to a bigger problem with the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, who are they going to be? And we're reminded again, it's only 5 games or 6 games. It's a long season, and everything we think we know about the league and these teams like a quarter of the way through, by the time we get to November, it could be a completely different story. I asked you the question before the break, and I still want an answer from you. Right now, who is your team to beat coming out of the NFC at this point in the season?
And I'm going to answer that question right after we talk to Chris Canty, who joins us right now.
I'm never getting an answer.
No, you're not. He, of course, Canty of Unsportsmanlike, of this show each and every Friday when he chooses to appear. He joins us right now. Hello, Christopher. How are you?
What's going on? Well, I'm going to answer the question, Grassa. It's the Detroit Lions. They're the best team in the NFC right now. Since week 1, they've been doling out ass whippings left and right, and I don't think it's going to be any different in week 6 in Arrowhead.
And I'm glad you say that, CC.
Wow.
And Chris, I'm glad that was his answer, and I was hoping you would give me that answer too, because it's so funny how things change, because in week 1, they lose to the Packers, and the talk that whole week was, Dan Campbell lost both of his coordinators. The Lions are going to go right back in the toilet. Funny how things change, isn't it?
It is, especially when they scored 161 points over the last 4 games.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
That's a bit of a deodorant there for sure.
There you go.
Canty, let's start with last night. You know what last night was to me, and I was just saying this a minute ago, refreshing. Refreshing that the Giants were the team that looked like the functional operation and also didn't make the big dumb mistakes and took advantage of a team that was somewhat reeling, that was going into that game thinking that was going to be their get-right game.
Yeah, I was impressed by what Jaxson Dart did, the playmaking, the poise that he showed. The offensive line, we know, for the New York Giants has been a work in progress since Super Bowl 46. Yet Jaxson Dart found a way to be able to do things around that, right? I mean, the scramble that he had for the touchdown where he put Zach Bond in the blender, wildly impressive, that level of athleticism and sheer speed. But the one to me that stands out the most was the touchdown throw to Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, that guy was out there moving around. I thought he was sacked 2 or 3 different times on that play alone, and yet he found a way to be able to make it happen. And I love that Jaxson Dart can respond in those ways and recognize the moment and keep that calm about him and execute and get the big plays when they're there to be made. So I think that's the important thing that the Giants offense was missing with Russell Wilson, and quite frankly, if we're being honest, has been missing over the past couple of years, a quarterback that can have that poise and the noise amidst all of that chaos and find a way to make big plays and ultimately raising the floor of the players around him.
We were talking about it a little bit earlier, Chris, that, Brian Daboll makes no secret how much he loves Jaxson Dart. And it's almost getting a little, over the top, the outward showing of adulation and, just he realizes that this guy is almost the key to him having a job next year or not having a job next year. As a player in that locker room, if you were on that team, would you be put off by that in any way?
No, hell no, man. I got a quarterback now. I feel like we can win games. I mean, Jaxson Dart has 3 starts. The 2 wins that they have are against the Chargers and the Eagles. After the first couple of weeks of the season, we were saying that those are the 2 best teams in their respective conferences. If I'm a guy on that defensive line for the New York Giants right now, if I'm Spider Burns or Dexter Lawrence or Kayvon Thibodeau, and I'm seeing the way that Jaxson Dart is moving the offense up and down the field, you don't think I'm going to be on board with that? I mean, Jaxson Dart converted 5 first downs with his legs. In the passing game, the guy was absolutely money. He was good in situational football, made some big boy throws under duress. The one across on the crosser from Theo Johnson in the second half, that's a big-time throw, y'all. Like, he's making those plays. He has the confidence, the belief in himself to do that. And, again, it comes down to being able to convert, being able to get the first downs. I mean, 8 first downs through the air, 5 first downs with his legs. I mean, that's what you want from a quarterback in today's game. There's a ton of free yards out there, and Jaxson Dart is taking advantage of them with his legs, both as a runner, but also second reaction plays, getting outside of the pocket and getting explosives down the field.
Chris Canty joining us, of course, of Unsportsmanlike each and every day, 6 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU, in addition to his appearances on First Take. Why has the defense all of a sudden started to look like the defense we expected it to be?
Because, number one, they ain't on the field the whole damn game. So there's that part of it. But I think that there is this belief that all of a sudden now we have a chance to compete and win games. And I can't tell you all how frustrating it is, how hard it is as a defensive player to get a stop and to know 3 plays later you're guaranteed to be going back out there on the field. It is demoralizing. And eventually the defense is going to crack. The defense is going to give up, even the best of defenses. And so your offense, your special teams has got to give the guys on the defensive side of the ball something to believe in. And right now, that something is Jaxson Dart and Cam Skattebo. I mean, Arm and Hammer, those 2 young boys are bringing a level of energy and enthusiasm that we just have not seen from this Giants organization in a couple of years. And that's not to say that they haven't had great players. It's not that they haven't had productive players. But when you have guys that can make it happen at those respective positions, that's something. I mean, Cam Skattebo, 3 touchdowns yesterday, ran over Zach Vaughn on back-to-back plays on that touchdown where he leans in and gets the ball across the goal line. I mean, he's able to cash in off of the turnover in the fourth quarter. Like, those are the types of things that you want from a guy that's touching the ball as much as he is. And when you're a ball carrier, when you're a quarterback, you carry the hopes and dreams of everybody in the entire franchise. And when those guys are getting that ball across the end line into the end zone, that just motivates everybody in a different way. That galvanizes everybody in a different way. And that's why you're seeing a different New York Giants than the team that we got through the first few weeks of the season.
Chris Canty joining us here on ESPN New York. We'll flip it over to Philadelphia for a second. I mean, even before they suffered a couple of blemishes here the last 2 weeks, Chris, they, were involved in all one-score games. The Rams game really required almost a miracle comeback for them to steal that one. But now you're starting to hear about dissension amongst the ranks, the players chirping at one another. Kevin Patullo, not exactly the most popular man in Philadelphia right now, or maybe even in that building. Is this a case of 2023 all over again for this Eagles team?
It feels like it. And here's the thing that makes it different than 2023 and really different from 2024. The Eagles had a little bit of drama toward the end of last season. Think back to the Carolina Panthers game. I don't think they had 100 yards passing, and then Jalen Hurts comes out and they smoke the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he throws for 300 yards and counts for 4 touchdowns, whatever it is. And then he gets to the podium and he says, "Is that what y'all wanted to see?" And everybody thought, okay, him and A.J. Brown are past the drama. The thing that I think is fascinating is that the 2 key actors on that Eagles offense and seemingly the focal point of all of the friction, those guys actually have proof of concept that if they sacrifice from an individual standpoint, it can lead to success. And you wonder, well, if you know that that's possible, why is that not enough this year? You've already done it. Yeah. You know that with the men in this locker room, we're capable of accomplishing success at the highest level of the sport. Why is it not good enough this year in terms of us being able to function forward past all of the drama? And I want to read you all something that I thought was absolutely fascinating. And this is A.J. Brown. A few days after the Super Bowl, he posted this on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And this is what he said, and I quote, "After a few days, I've had time to reflect on being a champion. I tried to feel how everyone made it seem to be a champion, and unfortunately, it was short-lived. 2 days to be exact, LOL. I've never been a champion at the highest level before, but I thought my hard work would be justified by winning it all. It hasn't. My thrill for this game comes when I dominate. It's the hunt that does it for me. It's when the DB drops his head and surrender because he can't F with me. The intense battles, early mornings, late nights, sacrifices. I love putting smiles on people's faces, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't what I thought it would be. It's the journey that I love the most. Back to work," end quote. Now, how do you reconcile that with getting him to sacrifice in order for the team to put itself back in position to compete for a championship.
You don't. That's all there is to it.
It's called November 4th, whenever the deadline is. That's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, I hate to put it this way. I don't think anybody doubts how great of a player A.J. Brown is. But when I see that, like if I saw that from in the offseason and I'm Howie Roseman and I get it, I'm not immediately trading him, but I'm certainly looking long and hard at how the future is going to lay out here and what exactly it looks like moving forward. And now what I'm hearing is really just following that up. And what that tells me is this is not going to get better with him. He is happier getting the ball and being a great player than he is winning, period.
Well, I think in football and in life, people want to win, but they want to win their way.
They want to win their way,
and I don't want to diminish A.J. Brown, and I'm not going to assassinate his sports character. I think he's one of the top 5 best receivers in our league. I do think it can be a scenario where both parties continue to compete at the highest level of the sport, but they're better off apart. Similar to what we saw with Steph Diggs and Josh Allen, right? Steph Diggs helped Josh Allen ascend, but then eventually the relationship got to a point where it was better for Josh if Steph Diggs was somewhere else. And now we're seeing Steph Diggs thrive with the New England Patriots. So I do think it's possible that both can go their separate ways, both can be fine, both can be a part of a team winning a championship. I just don't think that those two are able to do it together.
Now, having said that, the second I saw Jalen Hurts overshoot Devontae Smith when he's wide open for a touchdown, I kind of got it.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that though, big fella. It's a couple of things because I think that's important to drill down on. The version of Jalen Hurts that we're seeing right now is not the same guy that won Super Bowl MVP. It's not the guy that won, 17 consecutive games of which he started and finished. It's not the same guy. So we have to ask ourselves, why is he not the same guy? Is it the play caller? I know everybody wants to scapegoat Kevin Patullo, and they're in the shotgun all of this time. Last year, Jalen Hurts only had 16 total completions when he was under center. So the Philadelphia Eagles are a shotgun team, whether you like it or not, and they won a championship with it. What I think is at play is that because there is friction, because the chemistry is off between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, you are getting a diminished version of Jalen Hurts. Because Kevin Patullo had Devontae Smith wide open beginning of the third quarter, he missed. The pick that he threw to Cordell Flott, A.J. Brown was wide open in the back of the end zone. Jalen Hurts didn't throw in the ball. The situation at the end of the first half where he decides he's going to scramble, not realizing that he didn't have any timeouts left. When's the last time you've seen Jalen Hurts be bad in situational football? You're getting a different version of him. And I think the bigger reason why is not the play caller. It's how the relationship with A.J. Brown is impacting the overall chemistry in the locker room.
It's funny you mentioned Steph Diggs, too, because I wonder, you talk about potential landing spots. Mike Vrabel had him in Tennessee. Mike Vrabel stood up there at the podium towards the end of his tenure with the Titans and said, as long as I'm the head coach here, A.J. Brown is going to be on this team. I wonder if they might be looking to a reunion over in Foxborough to give them a dynamic 1-2 for young Drake May.
Well, they got money and they got picks, so it'd be interesting to see if that's a route that they'll go down. But, I mean, that would be a bold move by General Manager Howie Roseman. But again, this is very reminiscent to me of the situation we saw with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2005, where you had a team coming off of a Super Bowl run that started out 4-2, but we realized there was friction between the quarterback and the wide receiver. And then ultimately the organization decided to part ways because the team over the final 10 games of the season only won 2 of them. So I'm not saying it's going to be that kind of collapse, but we've seen the Eagles in recent years have a huge second half collapse. And with the chemistry being what it is, you wonder if that's going to happen this year.
McNabb and T.O. couldn't hash out their differences over chunky soup back in the day, unfortunately.
Chris Canty with us. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the failure of the Yankees and what exactly you feel like needs to be fixed next year.
Well, listen, man. Years past, Aaron Judge postseason production or lack thereof was what gave Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman cover.
Yep.
They don't have that this time around. Aaron Judge did his damn job. It's the rest of the lineup, the rest of the offense that didn't do theirs. I mean, in Game 4, Jazz Chisholm and Cody Bellinger were combined 0 of 8, 3 strikeouts, and 5 left stranded. And then to boot, Jazz Chisholm boots a ball in the 7th inning that allows 2 earned runs to score. And then you got the bases juiced in the bottom of the 8th and Austin Wells' first pitch swinging, pop fly. Like, there's just so many opportunities that the Yankees didn't take advantage of. Yankees not name Aaron Judge. And at some point, you got to make sure that he's surrounded with a requisite supporting cast in order to get him back to a World Series and hopefully have a different result. The pitching staff was good. The starting pitching rotation was good. You just wish that the defense and the other guys in the lineup that are supposed to protect your biggest bat come through and do their jobs.
Starters weren't good against Toronto, unfortunately, except for Schlittler. The first 3 games, he got nothing, which put him in a big hole. But to your point, for the most part, they were okay. And I think, look, we saw the deficiencies all year, right? They only won 1 game in Toronto, including that postseason series. And the Blue Jays just proved to be a better team here. But you just keep, you can't just keep kicking the can down the road, as they say, CC, right? And think that, the thing you hear out of the Bronx all the time is October's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot. Well, it keeps being a crapshoot for the Yankees, unfortunately, but maybe not so many other teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's the part that's frustrating. I mean, it's not as if Brian Cashman can't put together good teams. It's just that he hasn't put together championship teams in 16 years. And this is the longest championship drought that I've ever experienced as a Yankee fan in my lifetime. I was born in '82. I mean, the previous one was 14 years. They won in '96. So I mean, like it's been a long time from our relative to what we expect. And so yeah, it's frustrating. We'll have to see what ends up happening. I know health will be a factor, and hopefully guys come back healthy. Garrett Cole comes back healthy, and we'll see what happens moving forward. But yeah, I'm frustrated about it, and I just hope that the organization operates with the kind of urgency this winter that the entire fan base feels.
Canty, as always, my friend, we appreciate it. Thanks for the time. We'll talk to you next Friday.
All right, boys. Have a good one.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris Canty, of course, at Sportsmanlike, each and every day, 6 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Radio, on ESPN2, and on ESPNU, as well as on First Take throughout the course of the week. It's your favorite time of the show coming up in moments. I know that. A little dose of Carlin's Corner Table. Ooh. I know you can't wait. Dan, you ever been in love before your wife? Let's put your wife aside for a moment.
I'm a lover, not a fighter, Chris.
But have you ever been in love and then, years later wondered, could that love be rekindled?
Oh, I think everybody could go down that route, right?
What was it what you thought it was? Or was it all just a lovely memory that you are now shaping into your own narrative? These are questions we're going to answer, Dan. Next. Carlin's Corner Table on the way. Our NFL picks are on the way. You are on the way at 800-919-3776. Good Lord willing, with these phones, things will work out. Also want to remind you, my friends, though, that Game Time is brought to you by our friends over at Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Mariners hosting the Tigers in a winner-take-all Game 5 here in Seattle. You can hear that game right here on ESPN New York, beginning at 7:30 p.m. Tullamore Dew is the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying a Tullamore Dew responsibly. So much more to come. We've got the Survivor picks as well. Are you still alive in the Survivor pool?
I'm not in the Survivor pool.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
It's a whole, gambling thing. I technically work for an NFL team. Like, the whole last page of my contract stipulates all the no-nos with gambling, so
right.
I have to stay away from that stuff.
Okay, so in other words, that's all crap. We'll handle that. Are you allowed to make picks?
Oh, we could do picks, sure, absolutely.
Okay, can
for
I use
fun,
point spreads?
Little picks.
Okay, I can use point spreads too? Okay.
Oh,
I just want to make sure we're not violating your contracts.
No. I'm not going to, Joey Salami on the corner and slipping him a piece of paper. It's not like that anymore.
That's a little racist. Thanks.
Well, I'm hungry. It's lunchtime. That's why
it's
Bart Salami.
It's Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York.
Friday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, a stunner in MetLife. Jaxson Dart and Cam Skattebo led the Giants to an upset of the Eagles.
This is the greatest feeling in the world. And Rick, this is why you watch.
Is this the start of a turnaround?
Good team win. Home crowd was awesome, but we got to give them a reason to be awesome too. So another good game by a rookie quarterback.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Score a win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
There's nothing the voice in our head obsesses over like our health. But with over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help answer the questions like, why am I so tired all the time? How can I get better sleep? My friend was telling me about magnesium gummies she takes.
Know if my
Is my work stress affected?
It's time to up my
If my
cardio.
mom has something,
How would I find out?
it's time to get some blood work done. A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
Ballybet Sportsbook. Yo, Ballybet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Ballybet. Check out that brand new parlay zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Ballybet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today.
Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY.
Ballybet, Sportsbook and Casino.
Download it.
Just printed from the Erie Canal Press, the most coveted ticket, New York Lottery's $1 million raffle, hath arrived. 15 fortunate souls shall come into the fortune of a millionaire.
Translation, the $1 million raffle is here, and 15 winners are going to become millionaires. The New York Lottery commemorates 200 years of the Erie Canal with your best odds of winning $1 million. Limited tickets available. Ask your local retailer today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Getting the right mattress helps you sleep at night. Getting the right price helps you sleep even better. At PC Richard & Son, they don't just sell you a mattress. Their experts use a 4-step fitting process to make sure your new bed fits you perfectly. The right fit, the right price, plus free delivery. It's what they do, only at PC Richard & Son. Free delivery on mattresses $199 and up. Excludes Manhattan. See stores for details.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast-track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Your fantasy roster is set. The Smack Talk is heating up, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Make the connection today with ESPN Bet Fan Center and the ESPN Fantasy app. ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Stunning development with the Yankees. Absolutely stunning development. Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York, on the ESPN New York app. Give me a little bit of the Bart can't wait breaking news.
Can't wait.
That.
Yeah, grab a chair for this one.
Yeah. I was surprised. I have to give him credit. At least he was not wearing the Boris Corporation hat the other night.
Maybe they were out.
Yeah. Cody Bellinger will be opting out of his contract and becoming a free agent this winter per God. Jorge Castillo. Yeah.
Cody, you want $25 next year or a contract that's going to pay you a lot more than $25 million? I'm sure he had to call long lost relatives maybe in Europe to go over the decision with them when he said he wanted to talk it over with his family.
But at least he did, kind of acknowledge, yeah, I'd love to be back with the Yankees. Who knows? But he didn't do the normal Boris client, yeah, I'm out. We'll see. No hometown discount.
Yeah.
But we all knew that was coming. Yeah. We all knew that was coming. Well, it's time for Carlin's Corner Table. And again, I will ask this question in a serious manner. Mm-hmm. Dan, have you ever gone to a place as a restaurant and you thought, this place is unbelievable, but it may not have been where you live or, somewhere close, and you didn't get a chance to go back for a really long time, and you were hopeful that once you did, it was going to be as good? Have you ever been in that situation?
Absolutely.
How was it when it turned out? Was it as good, or did you just kind of remember it differently? How did it go?
Mixed bag. I think like some, it kept delivering the goods. Others, it was like, was I in a different headspace that night when I thought better of something that maybe it really was?
Yeah. And I think it's been there for all of us. And I, while here in Seattle, had that experience yesterday. And let's examine on Carlin's Corner Table.
I had some bacon.
Chris Carlin likes food.
Onion rings done right kick the ass of any French fry on the planet.
Chris Carlin has opinions on food.
You call yourselves the Burger King, you're a disgrace.
It's Carlin's Corner Table.
I need fat in my burger.
Dan, when you think of Seattle and the Pacific Northwest, is there a particular food that you would think that you need to try in Seattle because it's famous for it?
I would probably think something in the fish family because they just throw fish around as if they're so just like flippantly in excess.
Yes. They throw it around like a billionaire lighting 20s on fire.
Amen.
That's what they do. You would think fish. You might think sushi. Me? No, I come to Seattle, I got to have some chili. And I'm not kidding. So this is a place called Slim's Last Chance. Slim's Last Chance. Already, I hear the name and I'm in. Now, let me give you a little backstory. 2014, came to Seattle with Rutgers. They were playing Washington State. A good friend had seen this place on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives in 2010. Mm-hmm. And we were always up for trying those kind of places. A lot of times, frankly, those places generally let you down. But we went to Slim's Last Chance here in Seattle. It is at slimslastchance.com. Now, when you talk about absolute hole in the wall, absolute dive, like if you go to the Google reviews It talks about the sticky floors. It talks about the smell. It talks about, the live music every Friday night. Picnic tables in the back. This is not fancy in any way. But, Dan, they have, apparently for them, a group of 4 or 5 chilies that they make that they are famous for. And I'm thinking, I'm coming to Seattle. What am I going to get chili for? I once turned down a job in Kansas City because they took me out to dinner at a seafood restaurant in Kansas City. What are we doing?
There's no bodies of water near Kansas City.
Exactly. So I go to Slim's Last Chance yesterday because in 2014, it was among the great experiences culinary-wise of my life. It was unbelievable. It was a Texas red chili, no beans, just straight Texas beef and spices and all that, and you get it however you want. With cheddar, you get it with onions, you get it with sour cream, you get it with jalapenos. It's not overly hot. You make it as hot as you want to make it. And they also had fries, which were very good, very, very crispy, just cut very well, cut thick but not too thick.
Crinkle fries? You got crinkle wedge?
No.
What are we talking? String fries?
Not string. Think Five Guys fries, but perhaps a bit thicker than that.
Okay.
Think about that.
Gotcha.
But think about them really well done.
Gotcha. That's
okay?
important.
Yes, it's all important. And so I was coming on this trip, and I'm like, man, I've been in this place too many times where I'm going to go back to a place, and it just turns out it wasn't as good as I thought it was. Like, yeah, maybe I was in the wrong mindset. I wasn't drunk that night, but maybe I just remembered things the way I wanted them to, similar to most of the relationships in my life. Maybe I remember them as being so much better than they actually were. I went in, Dan, I sat down, and immediately the ambiance of the place, it was completely empty. It was at lunchtime, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, this is a problem. This is a problem.
I guess those floors maybe got a little bit more sticky over the years.
Yeah, like this was a place that I genuinely would have been concerned about making it through COVID. And I actually asked the waitress about that, and they almost didn't. And frankly, as I walked in, it looked like it was still COVID. With the amount of people that were in there.
Oh,
there were 3 old geezers in the corner eating lunch, arguing over who was paying today. That was it. But I sat down. I said, no, I'm doing this. I remember exactly what it was. I look at this menu. It's blue. It's laminated. It's Texas red right there. So I said, listen, Texas red, cheddar, diced onions, and some sour cream. And a side of those fries. That's what we're going with. Dan, they brought it over. And at first look, I'm like, that doesn't look great. I don't know. Did I make a mistake here? I forgot. The cheddar was melted on top, which completely changed the color. And I took a bite, Dan, and I was transported. I was transported to a younger time in my life. A better time, that's debatable. But certainly a younger time where I could really appreciate life and did not have my spirit completely broken as it is now. I was alive back there. Now I'm just dead. But in this moment, as I chewed and had this chili, oh my God, so good, so good, Dan. It is the best chili I have had in my entire life. And I'm not somebody that would go out of his way to order chili in a place. I really wouldn't. But it was just over the top delicious because of the combination of spices, because of the heat mixed with the cool of the sour cream, because of the cheese at a perfect ratio. Fries, ideally crispy, perfect for dunking. My Lord, Dan, I haven't seen perfection in a long time, but it was at Slim's. And beauty can be in the places we least expect it.
See, I think this warrants a deeper dive then into the establishment, the way the business is performed. We need to figure out why they're not thriving to the extent that they should, given the reputation, the history, the sticky floors, all that stuff. Why are they dealing with such hard times?
Well,
if the product is still top-notch.
I would not say right now that they are dealing with such hard times. I went in at a time, apparently, that it was just quiet. And that was at about noon Pacific time. Gets very busy later in the afternoon. They do the majority of their business Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and even some on Sunday. And that is where they make their money. And so that's how that they are rolling in the moment. It is not a place, like Seattle is not a place, Dan, where people are coming and waiting on lines for things. Yeah. They don't do that, okay? They don't do that here. They don't go to like Salt Hanks like we would and go wait on a line for an unbelievable sandwich. Or at least I would. I don't know if you wouldn't. I don't know if you're above that, whatever. My point is simply this. Don't close your hearts. Don't think that you're remembering it differently because maybe you're not. Dan, it's not a 5 Carlin place. Because it restored my faith in humanity and in love and in history, 5.5 Carlins.
Wow.
5.5 Carlins. My friends, if you go to Seattle, and even if you don't love chili, this is like the kind of chili that people don't love chili would love. How about that?
Wow. It's worth it. Too bad you couldn't. Are you leaving right after the game tonight or tomorrow morning?
I have a 6 a.m. flight tomorrow to Los Angeles.
Is there an opportunity for maybe a post-game rendezvous? Or is it too much?
Dan, I don't want to write any checks my ass can't cash, okay? I would love to. I would love for there to be that opportunity, but I'm not naive to what I am now. Maybe 10, 11 years ago, the first time around, Dan, maybe. But this time, not
now.
So much.
Yeah,
No.
You got to pump the brakes.
I advise anybody that is coming to Seattle, Slim's Last Chance. It's at slimslastchance.com. That's all you have to do.
Wow.
You're welcome. Carlin's Corner Table. Your picks are next on ESPN New York.
Ready to fire up your Saturdays? FanDuel's got a boost you don't want to miss. It's called Boostin' with the Boys, and it's giving everyone a college football profit boost every single week. So here's how it works. Each week, they're giving everyone a profit boost to use on college football. No opt-in gymnastics, no invite-only nonsense. Everyone gets the boost. We're talking real games, real teams, real Saturdays with an extra payout on the line. It's easy, it's fun, and it's only on FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/K to download the app. Check out the Boostin' with the Boys offer and get in on the action. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For the gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. BetterHelp therapists have helped over 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. That's millions of stories, millions of journeys, and behind every one is a therapist who showed up, listened, and helped someone take a step forward. Moments in therapy, like the right question, a safe space to cry, or a small win can change lives. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it works. With an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our fans get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp.com/timeout.
The Association on Aging in New York is celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Older Americans Act, which funds vital programs for millions of older adults. Services include meals, transportation, home care, Medicare counseling, case management, and caregiver support. Today, people are uncertain whether some programs remain available. We can help. To learn more about these essential programs and how to keep them, visit our website at agingny.org. Sponsored by the Association on Aging in New York.
Progressive knows there's so many great things about being a sports fan.
Like scoring the company box seats. How great is that? Trick plays that actually work. Prevent defense when your team is winning by a lot. And even more preventative prevent defense as they're hanging on by a thread. And of course, saving money when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's pretty great. Just like trick plays that actually work.
Yeah, but how often does that happen?
Complaining about sports. Not so great. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Knicks fans, opening night is a bounce pass away. Join ESPN New York's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from 3 to 6:30 p.m. from Stout on West 33rd between 6th and 7th. Steps from the Garden. Get ready for the start of Knicks basketball.
Runs it off the dribble. He got it and one.
Be there for special guests, live Knicks talk, and opening night vibes before tip-off. We'll see you at Stout on West 33rd. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from the Knicks home opener. Don't just listen. Don't just watch. Be there.
We're not wasting any time. Let's get to some NFL picks. It is Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York. Dan, up until last week, I had been 2-10 in my first 4 weeks of the year. 2-10. Last week, 3-0.
There you go.
We're showing a little bit of life.
I think I'm 4 weeks in a row at 1-2. So that's not good.
Well, let's see if we can do some good here for the people. How about that? Let us start, first of all, with the game that you would expect us to start with, and that is Sunday morning in London. It is Denver and the Jets. They are playing at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and when you play at Tottenham Hotspur, it all goes out the window. Denver favored by 6.5. Dan?
Picking with my head, picking with my heart in this one are two completely different things. Picking with my heart, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, getting out of the United States will do this team some good. Jermaine Johnson coming back. Maybe they're a little bit more stout defensively. I don't think Denver's offense is anything that scares you. What's going to come down to this game, if they could keep it close or not, is the self-inflicted wounds again. I know. The turnovers, defensively, the missed tackles, things like that. If they can avoid those, I think that the nature of the Broncos and the fact that they aren't explosive is to why maybe they could keep it to within a score for much of this game. But to see them win it, until I see him put 60 minutes together, Chris, I can't really buy all in that they're going to be able to solve anybody right now. So I have to pick Denver.
Yeah, I'm going to take the 6.5 here just because Denver, in reading about how freaking fired up they were about beating the Eagles last week, and then you're going to London, maybe there's a little letdown. I still think the Broncos will win the game, but for whatever reason, I think the Jets are going to keep it within 6.5, and I hate doing that. Anything under a touchdown, I always feel like it's a bit of a cop-out if you take the points, but in this case, I am very comfortable being a cop-out. I'm going to take the 6.5 points with the Jets and hope that they cover. This won't be a backdoor cover. This will be Denver scores a touchdown late to win it type cover. Game 2. The Rams and Ravens, which, as you pointed out, would have been one of the games of the week for sure on an incredibly weak slate. You were not kidding. Holy crap. This is rough.
Yeah.
But Rams visiting the Ravens. The Ravens have gotten so bad that the Rams are 7.5-point favorites. Dan, what do you got?
Coming cross-country, the 1 o'clock start, I'm sure that the Rams are going to come out a little bit earlier to help make that a little bit easier as far as the jet lag and the time change and that sort of thing. I mentioned Baltimore getting a little bit healthier, but not healthy enough. And remember, last Thursday night, the Rams had about as bad a loss as you could have given what San Francisco was trotting out on that field at home, shot themselves in the foot time and time and time again. I think they're more likely to tighten things up here. I'll actually take the Rams in that one with the points.
Wow. So you are laying the 7.5.
I'll lay those points, baby.
Okay, I'll take those points with Kyle Hamilton coming back. The Ravens have gotten beaten up, and I'm sorry I'm being stubborn on this. I can't believe they're this bad. And I know the Lamar situation. I'm fully apprised of it. I would just expect them to be able to keep it somewhat close. And maybe I'm being foolhardy with that, but I'm going to take the 7.5 points. And the 7.5 points at home, I have to take the Ravens here just on principle. Game 3, Lions and Chiefs in Kansas City, Sunday night. Chiefs 2.5-point favorites. Dan, what say you?
We just got done talking about how Detroit is probably the team to beat right now in the NFC. I mean, you look at this Chiefs team, even when they win, they're not exactly blowing teams out, and they're a far cry from that team that was almost unbeatable, especially in that building. We saw what happened to them on Monday night, not being able to close out the Jaguars on the road. The points you said, what, 2.5?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Lions win the game, believe it or not. So this would be what? This would be a second home loss already out of the first 3 at home for the Chiefs, and I think it's going to happen, actually. And the Chiefs are going to go to 2-4, Chris.
Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. You got the Chiefs losing. I have the Chiefs winning the game and winning by at least a field goal, so I'll take them minus the 2.5. Maybe I'm just a sucker of riding the Chiefs roller coaster, so to speak. I for sure thought a couple of weeks ago they were a team that is on the way down, and then naturally they kind of sucked me back in last week. Maybe they'll start to just turn it on and figure it out. This would be a big week to do that. I would think that Kansas City wins this game by at least a field goal. So we're going to go Chiefs minus 2.5. So I have got Ravens plus 7.5, Chiefs minus 2.5, Jets plus 6.5. Dan has Denver minus 6.5, Rams minus 7.5, Lions plus 2.5. We disagree on all 3 games. So you got
That's good. That's good for the health of the show, right? And then we'll see
agree.
how we fare on Monday. But, yeah, it is incredible with some of these games, how they don't exactly wow you with what they have lined up. The Sunday night game, is Detroit, Kansas City. What's the big San Francisco, Tampa Bay is the big 425 blockbuster this week?
Pretty much.
Ugh.
I'm guessing that's where Burkhardt and Tom Brady are. I'm guessing.
It's with Mac Jones probably, right?
Yeah. He's actually played well, though, to give him credit. He's actually played pretty well for them. But, yeah, it's not Murderer's Row for sure.
Joe
Hey, a
Flacco
reminder.
at Lambeau Field.
A reminder for everybody playing ESPN New York Survivor Pool. That's not Dan. He's contractually not allowed.
That's right.
Make your pick before Sunday's 1 o'clock games to stay in the running for the $5,000 grand prize. After 5 weeks, 79% of the players out, leaving only Chris Canty, Evan Cohen, Jake Asman as the surviving ESPN personalities. Follow along on the ESPN New York app, powered by SplashSports.com. Dan, enjoy your Sunday morning. I hope the bagels are fresh and ready to go for your 6 a.m. pickup time, and you have an outstanding pre- and post-game with maybe even the first Jet win of the year. Let's not get nuts, but we will see you on Monday either way.
Here's hoping, and how about getting us a victory tonight? That would be nice, too. That's on you.
All right, well, we'll see what we can do. Michael K. is up next. If I'm not mistaken, Ian O'Connor, Buster Olney among the guests on the way in just a little bit. Keep it where it is on ESPN New York and the ESPN New York app.
The Fox Nation Patriot Awards returns for a new